100 episodes of RP MMO Radio. When we started this, we had no idea what we were doing, just kind of a general idea. I mean, hell, 2/3 of us didn't even think it would last more than a few episodes, but yeah, at least they were willing to give it a try. We all love roleplay and MMOs, so it was a joint venture in trying to help out other current and future role players with the basics, the ups, the downs, how to make the best of it all. Also, maybe to give you a laugh and entertain you along the way, so we got one out of the two goals, and that's not too terrible. I worried going in, as happens with many gaming podcasts, that the crew would be hard to hold on to. Other podcasts go through hosts like toilet paper without paying them, or other deals and things on the back end. We've had an amazing group of people. Jazz and Sib have always been the pillars on which this show stands, with knowledge and one being the nice one, quote unquote, double teaming me and helping keep me in check. Kishmish was an amazing addition and a good friend, and only left because, as life happens, 1 month after coming on aboard, his work schedule changed to include damn near every Saturday we did the show. Best Buy hates us. This is sponsored by Best Buy. Then we brought on our friend Strafe, who's been around with us since our EQ2 days and been through some crazy crap on his own in his roleplay experience, and knows best now how to avoid the nutters. And then Yunfei and her husband Rahanar, our call screener, who has endured despite a number of real-life health issues and has yet still come on as often as he can. And of course, our Yunfei, whose outlook and experience added to the show and is also one of the player of one of my favorite characters of all time. Lastly, there's you, the listeners, and the Patreons, for whatever reason, actually sticking with us and listening either live or on your favorite podcast app. Seriously, guys, you are all the best, and we've met amazing people we never would have without you reaching out to us. All we can do is make a thing and put it out there. It takes your willingness to give us a chance to make anything happen. And for that, we are both humbled, and from everyone here at RPMMO Radio, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and hope that you will join us in either the next podcast, Crash While Loading, or possibly if RPMMO Radio continues under the iron-fisted hand of Jazz. Whatever happens, we hope you had as much fun as we have. And with that, on with episode 100. The end!
You're listening to RPMMO Radio.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Where entertainment and roleplay in MMORPGs have little hybrid mutant babies.
Make a note of this. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow, dishonor on your whole family.
And now, here's your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, Sib, Jazz, Strafe, and Yunfei.
Everybody off. We need to go on a quick adventure.
Hello, role players, and welcome to the 100th episode of RPMMO Radio. The end.
The end.
Question
The
mark.
end.
I, of course, am your host, Ashen Phoenix, and with me today is everybody, Jazz, Sib, Strafe, and Yunfei. How is everybody doing?
Hello.
Good. Nobody cares. Just kidding. Or am I? But no, I can't believe it. 100 episodes. Anybody else? Jazz, Sib, specifically? The naysayers? Surprised?
Surprised. I'm surprised it went on this
I
long.
was surprised it went as long as it did, and I'm very sad to see it end. So,
Look, boss, I'm waiting for that episode where we actually discuss why halflings are so diabolical, but I digress. I had no illusions that we wouldn't last.
Actually, we have that planned. That is going to be episode 101, which will air probably never. It was pre-recorded. It's going to have to go. Unfortunately, since the show might be ending, this is the last episode unless Jazz takes over. It's probably
and
just
she
gonna
likes
have to,
halflings,
right? And it's going to have to
so-
go in the Disney vault.
So she's going to bury it
Yeah.
Oh, forbidden
Along-
knowledge.
Which-
Hashtag let us know, Jazz.
I just hope while she's burying it that she doesn't find all the little bodies.
Uh-huh.
What little
Yeah.
bodies? I don't know what you're talking
Hmm?
about.
Well, what? Nothing. No bodies. Who said anything about bodies?
I don't know.
So, Strafay, you cray cray. Of course, appreciate everybody for tuning in to us. Twitch.tv/RPMMO Radio. There will be a few things that will change as we transition from one podcast to another. Some things, like the actual, whatchamacallit, that thingy that you're on, the Twitch channel, will still remain. It will just switch over to the new show. However, the Discord will remain RPMMO Radio because every link we have would link directly to that. So if we switch that, that would be very confusing to anybody that comes along later after Jazz picks it up. So she'll have to rebuild the YouTube or the Twitch thing. I'll have to redo the Discord, and I can say it's even. It'll be fun. One way or the other, it'll be a fun transition. But hopefully, we won't have to worry about that for a while. Because I don't know about you guys, but after this, I plan on taking a little break because there's this thing coming up called October. that I am a-
Yes.
Yeah, imagine that.
That I am
Yeah.
also a fan of. There's a fanness to it. I think
Dat Halloween, sir.
I think somebody reminded me that this year that St. Louis is not that far away, and they have some epic scare houses.
So we might be taking a trip to St. Louis this year.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh,
They got
awesome.
they've transitioned like an old brewery into it, like was it 3-story spook house?
No,
Dude,
that's the
that sounds
darkness.
glorious.
Oh, is that the
The
darkness?
brewery is like, yeah, it's like, I think it's kind of like underground kind
Mm.
of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And also, we'll be in St. Louis, so just the fright of drinking the water or being shivved will be fun in its own and scary.
Whatever.
What? Oh, St. Louis is a beautiful town. Have you seen that arch? It's an amazing arch.
It's an amazing art.
Everybody says
Nothing
so.
to see here.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I've driven through it. It's a lovely town to drive through. I have no idea beyond that. Oh, the McDonald's was nice.
The traffic sucks.
Traffic-
Other than that, I did enjoy my time in St. Louis.
I remember I drove through it when we went with a group of Star Wars nerds up to Indianapolis for Celebration 3. We stopped by. So that was my experience going one way and then also going south the other way 3 days later.
Did you guys go in full garb?
Actually, we were part of it in a way. One of our buddies, he's a real Gary Weaver, does a lot of modeling stuff and things like that. So we actually had like the backstage pass, like basically the exhibition hall passes. We weren't out there with the riffraff. We didn't wait in the lines. It was actually super cool. Going to one of those things and having to wait in the lines, I can imagine, is probably a mind-numbing experience. But not having to wait in the lines was also cool.
Epic win.
Yeah, we
The
also
only reason
met.
I asked,
Go ahead.
many times I came back from the Ren Fair in full freaking legless gear, and the looks you'd get if you went to a sit-down restaurant were legendary.
Oh,
Just
well,
saying.
just that around here when we did like Trek Expo or when we had the kids dressed up as little Jedi at the one. Remember Sib?
Yes.
And I was in full Heath Ledger Joker, and we went to, was it like, I forget what burger joint it was, just around this corner. So yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I
I'm
remember.
used to that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Kind of dangerous in South Dallas, I'm just going to say, but still entertaining.
Oh yeah, or like that. Oh, what was it? That jackass in Canada that got himself. He was dressed up as a new what's the NCR, New Republic of California from
Oh,
Fallout. Yeah, he was
NCR
dressed up
Ranger.
like that. Yeah, the NCRA with a giant flag and one of those giant guns on his back, just trotting
Anti-material
through.
rifle, yes.
Yeah. So the police got called on him, and they had a discussion about he's walking through a sound when he looked like you're ready to fight. Yeah, that didn't go out too well.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
Cosplaying in real life, it is a dangerous.
It can
dangerous
be.
endeavor.
It can be. Especially if you don't have half a brain in your head and you're like,
True story.
maybe I shouldn't go out just like the Punisher and be like, with all the guns and stuff where nobody can see the orange tips. It's not the
or
same
the
world.
worst, they paint them over.
Yeah, there's that
Safer
too.
to leave your swords and your fake guns and your E11s in the car, folks. I'm just
Mhm.
going to say.
Yeah, just going in there and the costume is one thing, but
Don't push your luck.
Yeah, maybe going with the giant Buster sword, to the checkout counter at McDonald's to get your fillet of fish. Probably a bad idea. Leave that at home.
Although the only caveat to that is when I did go to the convention in Dallas, Acon, I believe, there were restaurants like real close.
Oh
But
yeah,
was
they
like,
know it.
I saw a full Sephiroth. I saw all kinds of dudes just getting their food, and I was like, "This is kind of awesome."
Yeah, no,
Kind of nerdy, but kind of
yeah.
awesome.
It's really fun if you're the first one there and the people have no idea what's going on. I always love seeing those pictures of some random person like taking a picture of what's clearly a cosplayer in the line. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on around here.
Man, you mentioned your Joker outfit. So my brother, before I got the job down here, we went to a big Halloween party, and I was dressed up like Michael Myers. He was dressed up like Batman the animated series Joker.
Nice. Yeah.
He looked really good. And we went to the drive-through line in Whataburger, and the ladies were like, "Oh no, we ain't serving y'all." They literally would not serve us.
It's funny.
No, I ain't.
No.
I think Joel said something to the effect of, "What's wrong? You don't want to see a pencil disappear? Like, you guys gotta go."
What's the matter? Don't we all get our crunchy fries? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they shoot you.
Yeah. That's like
But
going
the 100th episode, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's kind of like I have a funeral home. It's a lovely place on my mail route. It turns out going in there and kicking the door open saying, "I see dead people," is not as funny as I thought it would be.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
They got real upset, and the group of the family off in the corner I don't know why they were crying, but...
Oh, my Lord.
Hey, man, some folks just can't take it, bro.
I know. It's like that. What was that Tommy Boy where he goes into the bank? All right, everybody, listen up. Everyone jumps to the ground.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Well, speaking of good times, we have none of that here for you because today in our show, which hopefully will be a good one, the fact that we'll be listening to parts of the very first episode will guarantee that at least that part of the segment will not be because it is god-awful, and I'm going to subject you to it because if I have to listen to it, you all have to listen to it.
Misery loves company,
It
kids.
is terrible. It is just flat out bad. But before we get to that, okay, so if somebody here is going to take over this podcast after this episode, I think that person should probably go first in what they've been doing in role play.
You always find a way.
It sounds
always,
man.
I'm like the Boy Scouts. Come prepared.
Boy Scout. Oh.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, or no, there's girls in the Boy Scouts, which, funny enough, they don't appreciate be calling the girly Boy Scouts now. Even though there are girls and boys in there, calling them the girly Boy Scouts is apparently taken in a negative connotation, and
Yeah,
I am
you're
not
just supposed
sure.
to call them the Scouts now.
I was just trying to be inclusive to all genders, so girly Boy Scouts is what I came up with.
I know you meant well. Not really.
No, I did not.
Call them the girly men.
We
There you
actually
go.
have one of our other carriers, Blaine. He's actually a scoutmaster. He thought it was hilarious, but he has a sense of humor. So, and then he was also, don't say that to anybody else.
probably so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because a Twitter model
That's
come after
hilarious.
you.
Don't ever say that to anybody.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Because then you get the Twitter mob, then
Keep it under your hat.
The online digital lynch mob comes after you. Suddenly you don't have a job, and you don't know why because you made a joke.
But it's okay. I have my dog. Nope, he's off. Nope, never mind.
I was gonna say, is he even there?
He's unfortunately
Outside to pee?
He has been a victim of sexual assault all week. I feel actually
Oh,
very
poor
bad
bitch.
for him. We're watching my mom's dogs, and apparently one of them swings in whatever direction he can get behind.
Oh dear.
Which is apparently
Oh,
his
no.
favorite is my poor dog, Spanky, who just gets stuck in the corner and,
Don't touch me!
and freezes in fear as his back is violated.
It's horrible.
Yeah, and this is from the toothless dog, by the way. This is Peanut, who has... Hey, Peanut, come here. Come here, Peanut.
He's
Yeah,
like,
he wanders off. He doesn't listen to shit. He's got 2 teeth. He's got his 2 bottom canines. He has if he had a voice, it would be like talking like this. I find you very attractive, but I think you should turn around now. Yeah,
That ain't cringe at all. Oh wait,
no, he's actually part wiener dog, part Pomeranian. So he's got the body of a wiener
Oh,
dog, but the
dear.
long hair of a Pomeranian. Oh, here he is. Come here.
That's terrifying, isn't it?
But
So-
he is.
unplugged. Let's see. There you go. This, for those on the camera, this is Peanut. This is
Oh, he's so cute.
This is little Peanut.
Hi,
As I
He's
talk-
not a dirty old man, but he's adorable.
I'm talking through your head like that's going to get to the microphone real well. There
He
you
is
go.
a dirty old man.
He is a dirty, dirty old man. And the other one is Tripod because, well, his name's Snickers, but he's only got 3 legs because he was hit by a car in front of my mom's beauty salon and then she adopted him. He is also
Of
very
course.
solid. So anyway, I hear Jazz had role play.
I did.
I actually
I've had
didn't hear
roleplay
that.
all
I just assumed.
I've
Jazz,
actually
what did you
gotten
do?
my writing bug back.
Oh, really?
So
Good.
I have been writing a lot for CL's story. I've gotten 3 episodes out for that. And I've been working on Soldreni's a story for things in her and also for Kia Karis. So it's been really kind of nice to be able to write again because I'd kind of fallen out of doing that. I go through phases like everybody does.
Right.
And let's see if I can get it to pull up because it's not cooperating, of course. Okay.
Okay.
So I thought I would read Kia's journal because I haven't written. Let me look up here. When was the last time? July
I
8th
was
of
gonna say, it's
2018 was the
been a
last time that I wrote Geek
I know on the show I couldn't even remember. So yeah,
Yeah.
was that a year and
Yeah, it's a
3
year and
months?
something ago.
2 months?
A
Yeah.
little more than a year ago. I wrote in her journal once. It was very short. Before that, it was in May. So I wrote like once in May, twice in June, and then never again. Once in June and once in July, excuse me. And then I just didn't for a year. So this is kind of a catch up to everything that has happened in her life until now. So I'll go ahead and read that.
Okay.
It's Wayward Journal, Volume 10. Well, that was a long time past. It has been a few years since my daughter was born and my whole life changed. She used to be 3 soon, talking a storm and learning so fast and furious it makes my head spin with how quickly she changes. She has become my whole world, eclipsing even Alanu and my people. This will be a long entry and it may take several to get it all out. I will write until my hand gives out. Ciel recovered fully and has only a very faint, nearly imperceivable limp on her left where the damage was more severe. Her neck break healed and her spine recovered with a boggling amount of work and pain management on her part. I've never known anyone that tenacious. I look at her in awe many nights as she bounces around, something I thought that was over for her. We find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. My father was her mentor, something she hid from me, when she was actively with, name scribbled out. So was Demerith, by the way. 2 mentors in her life that are in mine. It has been a difficult year for me. My uncle's brother is my father, and they seek the other's destruction. It has come to a head recently, and I've been busy trying to manage it. As I have written before, I have my mother's journals, or I thought I had them. I was missing one, and my father had it or gained it somewhere along the way. It was a hidden one where she wrote letters to me. There are letters going back to before I was born and long after, across the 6 years she raised me. It was hard to read because unlike the journals where she was talking to herself, this was to me, telling a tale that needed to be told, I suppose, and that her journal left out. I am not sure why. So here is what I gathered from my long night of reading. My mother was indeed a slave for much of her life, belonging to a right bastard named Ulul Grulon. I did read stories of him in her journal early, but she never said he was her master. She talks to me about him and how much she both loved and hated him. They grew up together, apparently, and she was given to him when he came of age. She talked about his wife and how much she despised her and that it was quite mutual. I read these stories in her journals, but I had assumed it was a married male, not a master and wife. Apparently, anyway, she was born with an inherent gift of fire, not unlike me and my daughter, but she was a Redguard and she was terrified of it. He forced her to train that skill, and she hated him for it, convinced it had doomed her to sin. In the course of her young life, she crossed paths with the Mages Guild with a haughty and secretive Altmer named, Jathalis. He became incensed that she was a slave, and after a particularly vicious beating, he stole her away to a healer and sought revenge. He killed her master and several nobles, including the young wife who was expecting. She defends Jathalis then, saying that no one told him, and she was not showing yet. But it came to be important because she was of noble birth in the Dres house, as was the master, and both families demanded that Jathalis and the escaped slave be found and put to death. This is where it gets a little dicey for me. Her journal is unclear, but it sounds like there are two issues that crop up very quickly. One, Jathalis was either aligned or working with the Telvanni at the time, and there is talk that he was also possibly already entrenched with the name scratched out. These two factors indicated that the families wanted proper revenge, then they needed to involve the Morag Tong to avoid an incident between houses or an outright war with name scratched out. Wisely, Jathalis fled Morrowind and went to Cyrodiil and then to Reaper's March, to Stros Mackay and then Alakir, ending up in Glenumbra. In that time, he reconnected with a band of thieves that he had apparently run with years prior, and they joined together to protect each other in this mess. He left my mother in their tender care and vanished, coming back over the next year to see her, but never for long. One day he just never returned. A bandit by the name of Kavan Tolvin took up with my mother, rather out of the blue, and ended up getting caught and saying she was the guilty party of stealing the Breton heirloom. Her last entry is enraged as she vows to run and never return. Of course, I know she was caught and hanged while I watched. Kivron abandoned me in the desert, and my father, Bengari Sharon, found me, adopted me, and raised me. So essentially, with what Jathalis told me and my mother's old friends, I know that Kivon was not only a betrayer, but a thug hired by the Tong to find my mother, set her up, and force Jathalis to come and rescue her. She died, and he never showed up, he says, because he never knew. But he also says that he arrived in time to see Kivon abandon me and killed him for it, setting the old traitor to Taylor to discover me instead. Now here's a fun little small world fact. Ulil Grulon is Garv's Moabil's mother's brother's son. They are cousins. Garv's owned Sial. Ulil owned my mother. Full circle. As I read my mother's journal, the name sounded familiar. I went to my notes and found that he was related by blood to Garv's. I spent almost 2 years trying to find out more on Sial, and here we sort of know each other. How strange is that? So now what do I do with all this? I am unsure, to be honest. Part of me wants to kill my father for hurting Trath. Part of me wants to just try to get them to coexist, so I lose neither of them. Part of me knows that will never happen, and one will kill the other. And Sial? What of her? My father's connection and fascination with Sial is another matter entirely. The visions I saw her in her fevered dreams that she allowed me to walk with her in are difficult to describe. I do think that Jathalis and Sial are connected by more than happenstance and the name scribbled out. My own dreaming told me that they are connected back in time, perhaps by related or connected ancestors. I'm still trying to decipher all of that. And then there is the issue of Romeo, who refuses to help and accuses me constantly of being in collusion with my father, as if I have any way to control him whatsoever. No, I don't want to run him through, or more to the point, honestly, he could be. Given what Sial told me, I'm sure that Nocturnal is protecting him. The reasons remain a mystery, but do not change that reality. I have much to ponder and will write more as I learn it. Okay. And that's that. So that kind of is where this tune is she's trying to unravel this mystery of intertwining paths between these characters, which is my absolute affectation. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun for me. Sial as well has been kind of working to try to untangle her life. And so I've had a lot of role play with her and Trithalis, her and Romeo, her and Caves, as she's trying to unravel this knot of a mystery as to where she came from and how she's going to handle this place she's in between Jathalis and Trithalis, because she's right smack dab in the middle between the two of them, and she's being pulled apart, or that's how it feels for her. So that was my role play.
You're pulling me apart, Lisa. Sorry, that's what that made me think of. No, that's it's funny how that writing bug comes and goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
once I have it though, I gotta write. So I've also been working on my book and several of my books actually, as the mood hits me. So Once
Well,
the writing bug is back, it's back. I tend to focus a lot on writing again.
As it just so
The writing
happens,
bug is also coming back, doing part to Jazz constantly. Hey, man, you wrote me a story yet? No.
well, and there was
Next
this
page.
amazing
Hey.
person we spoke to in the last episode that gave a lot of really good tips. You guys should probably go listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I grew up with that mother of trolls. Don't even get me started.
Why was there a pause? I grew up with that.
Hey, careful.
was a-
He has
Said mother
to.
of trolls.
that was a
I don't know what you're talking
long-
about.
there
I think
was-
you're trying to start something.
There was a
Instigator Boy.
long pause before Mother of Trolls came out. That
Yeah, I remember it differently.
So I'm going to send this clip to your mom now after the show, and I would stay near your phone.
Okay. Well, you can do that. But if you decide to do that, I may put in a word, an anti-pie word for you and Sibs, and then not only do you suffer, but your wife by proxy suffers. Do you want to make your wife suffer, Sarah?
Well, I mean, I know your mom after having met her once, and if we showed up, she would still give us pie because she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, okay, if you want to run the risk, bro, we can
Oh,
play the game.
you guys are hilarious.
I mean, she wouldn't punish Sib because of me. She's not that kind of person.
Mhm.
She even
I gotta
said if you
agree.
show up, you're gonna eat, and you're gonna eat
Yeah,
till you
she
throw
did.
up. Yep.
What really
I don't see
sucks
you
is
guys driving all the way down a pod ramp.
very much.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. That and Sib could only have like a bite or two.
Yeah, sad.
Well, oh, you know what you could do? We could do like the movie thing where like they have to do multiple takes and they put it in their mouth, they chew it up, and then they spit it out. So that way you get all the flavor, but you could keep eating.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a way.
So what about you, Strafay? You got anything since you're in that same vein of ESO?
In the same vein, yeah.
I mean, that's where your
We
role
had some
plays at.
There was some
I
role
cornered
plays
him
that
for role
happened.
play a couple of times, so
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, bud.
Somebody's Jones for RP bad and stories. It's a
Mhm.
constant drum beat in my Discord message box.
She comes at you scratching at her elbows. Got any of that more of that role play?
She's like that kid in that 80s movie. $2. I'm like, good lord.
$2.
Pretty much.
Is that what was that called? We were just talking about that.
Better
Sid.
off
Ain't it?
dead.
Better off dead.
Better
that
off
was it.
dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay, so role play. Did poetry night Tuesday night, and Trath, of course, is a basket case. He's not sleeping well. He also doesn't trust certain people. He did ask Foley, "Hey, I know you have this place you go to meditate. Take the boy and go. In fact, if you want, why don't you take Trajan and his daughter as well? Just don't say nothing, and don't tell me. Don't tell anyone, because I don't have a good feeling about those we work with right now." So she gave him the look, gave him her mind about it, and then she went. So at a previous meeting, Romeo had asked, what spurred us on was Romeo had asked, "Oh Lord Silverleaf, how are things in the family front?" And of course, Cial was sitting there, watching with her gaze. Something he had noted walking back to his memory crystal and reviewing memories he had placed in there. He just always seemed to find her somewhere on a ledge somewhere watching, wondering how information was getting back to his brother. So he's guessing, partly, he's not incorrect, he's only half incorrect, that she has a dirty hand in it. So when Romeo asked him that some nights back, he's like, "Fine, we're fine here. How are you?" Essentially, I did it a little more Altmer style. Of course, Sia picked up on this and started putting the sad face on, which she then masked by getting drunk and high on moon sugar and dancing around because got to be a jolly Bosmer.
Yep.
So fast forward to last Tuesday, and Trath, of course, is still not sleeping well. He showed up to the deal. They did the hour. We didn't have a big showing last Tuesday, did we? I don't
No, we
remember.
didn't. But two
A
nights
small
in a
show.
row, we really haven't.
So Trath, instead of standing up, lording and doing his deal, he just pulled up an old chair and he sat there and he kind of watched everybody do that because he's too tired to stand. This prompted, I believe Kia was there, to say, Sia thinks you hate her and you look horrible. Why don't you come to my house and stay with Anya because I don't want you being alone in your house right now. By the way, where's Vali? Trath, of course, said, I don't know where she is because he wasn't lying. So they had a little talk because she didn't know where Trajan was. Knew he went somewhere because of the recent events with the Dark Brotherhood. And he finally agreed and, of course, went there. Of course, this was the great delight to his cousin, quote-unquote cousin. Because then she could fuss over him like she normally did, which Trath then remembered, oh gosh, I remember when I got married and left her to do her deal. But anyway, when the guild meeting night came around, he was well rested, and he was a little more jolly, a little more himself. And there was a good showing. People were excited to see Trath again at guild night. Hey, so Lord Silverleaf, you haven't been here. Of course, Romeo, being Romeo, asked his questions lazily while he was covered up in his flavor of the month. And, Trath was jolly with everybody. Went to go see Sol Drenny, which was entertaining because it was Friday night after the Telvanni meeting. Because Kia had asked her to. Kia had said, you really need to go see your old commander. Get some of the stuff squared away. Well, he put it in his ledger, and he's like, well, I'll do that later. So as the day went on, he just kept burying himself since he was well rested. He's like, I feel great. I'm going to go to the forge and make some stuff. So he did. Where Kia found him. And of course, every time Kia drops in, she's normally there for a grammar lesson, some kind of lesson.
Sia.
Sia. Yeah, Sia, sorry. He looked up at Sia and he's like, I see you're here for your lightly fried fish for lunch. Sia looked at him like he was strange and said, oh, yeah, I could eat, sure. So they went back to Matheson. Again, that weight of heaviness kind of settled on Trath. He's like, whatever, it's the memories. It's Farrah dying, it's my parents dying, it's everything. This place just has too many memories. And they went. He fried her up her normal lunch. And then she went to the spiel about, you don't trust me, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, why would you say that, dear? Because a few weeks ago, I spied on you, and jail was there, and you couldn't see either of us. And I saw it all. And then Trath looked at her and went, this is not a very good look. You understand this is not a good look for you. But I'm your friend. You should trust me, right? To which Trath was like, yeah, well, see it from my point of view. You spied on me when I thought I was alone. With my sworn enemy in my house. You tell me how that looks. And matter of fact, what if I were spying on you with your former slave master in your mountain stronghold and didn't tell you for 2 weeks? What would you think? Sia has the mind of a damaged child sometimes. Thought about that for about 5 seconds then, but I'm your friend, you should trust me. In any event, they squared up somewhat, and he explained to her, look, I miss my wife, I miss my kid. I'm sure Kia misses her family as well. We have somebody who I have warned you folks for years, shown up. You're saying he's playing nice and winning people over. I've warned you forever, and you're telling me he's winning and I should change my game. I've warned you till I'm blue in the face. Maybe it'll take something happen to me before y'all realize what he is. But I need you to win, Teacher Trath. Anyhow, the conversation ended amicably. And she's like, well, look, I needed, my mentor, he said some things. He said you were related, and I got to know. And Trath said, look, I can assure you we're not. But I need your blood. And Trath's sitting there thinking, yes, you're the lady who spied on me for 2 weeks ago with my sworn enemy in my house and didn't tell me till just now, and you want my blood. Yeah. Sorry, darling, there's only 2 women I trust with cutting my hand open and giving my blood, one of which lives in Vardenfell. The other one is in parts unknown right now. But I will go there to Sully myself if it appeases you. So she agreed. She put her own blood in a vial and gave it to Trath. Trath made way to Sully's. Upon getting there, it was raining, which is ironic. He hadn't seen Sully since he got married. So he was talking to Sully a little bit. She was surprised he was there. Unbeknownst to Trath, Jail has been there pretending it was him, but he didn't know this. And Sully didn't let on, so Sully may have her own little side game going on.
Actually, she did. She told him that he'd been there. She said, I think he's been here, but I'm not sure.
I think he's... Oh, okay, yeah, you did say that. I remember that now, yes. Anyhow, they did the test. They found out that no, C is indeed not in his family line. But the key is, that was confirmed. And they started talking about old times, and her father showed up. To which didn't look good because it was getting kind of late. And she walked out of her lab around the corner, and then Trath, after he realized that someone was here, he followed her. He's like, okay, well, let me pack all this stuff up and go down there. And he comes waltzing out from the back of that place up behind her. And Typhon immediately was talking shop about Telvanni stuff and looked at Trath and went, daughter, what am I interrupting? I could sit and watch, but, I seem to hamper events. Of course, Trath gave him the very idea, how improper. Anyhow, it evolved to Hush Father from Sully, and they went in and had tea. They didn't try to seduce Trath into joining the Telvanni, and of course, Trath said, that I don't play little Dunmer games. We play the real games in Somerset. Essentially, he did it in a nice way. Then the Velvet Slaps began. And Traffin was laying on heavy on Trath, and then Trath just finally pointed out his ability to chase all kinds of crazy women. And said, yeah, eating all the time can be fun, but it's the truly admirable meals that you only need a few of, and they can last you a lifetime. And that was a nice Velvet Slap. Anyhow, it went back and forth. It was some crazy little politicking going on. And then Cave showed up, giving Trath the opportunity and me to go to bed. So I logged out for the night. That was Trath. Jail showed up on Sia at her house. Actually, no, he showed up on Kia in last week's guild meeting, which rankled everybody's feathers. Actually, no, was the poetry hour? Anyway, he freaked out Mayra really good because he looked over with his magically infused eyes, and she reared back like he was a cobra going to get her. It was entertaining. Anyhow, Kia was beside herself and drug him upstairs. Why are you here? He's like, you're always so busy, and you always say you want to chat, but then I show up, and you're mad at me. Women. Anyhow, it carried on, and he gave her the journal from her mother she didn't have because he had it all this time. And, he just calmly reminded her, look, I did what I could. Things were dangerous. She asked questions about her parents or what happened to her mom, and he said, look, this is why this has happened. This is what happens when people find out you have a loved one. They exploit it. So he tried to tell her the truth. She may or may not have believed it since, it seems her and her merry band of ne'er-do-wells believe the lies of the Jedi, a.k.a. Trithalis. But regardless, it's been a fun week of roleplay. I really got back into it. The battery's charged, and the writing bug is starting. So, the end! Because I can carry on forever, but let's move on.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Sib? Did you do anything, maybe, I don't know, for the second time this week with somebody?
What?
Gears.
Oh yeah, we finished Gears of War
4, yeah.
Yeah, ready for Gears of War 5.
Which apparently was not the first. We thought we started it a long time ago when it first came out, and we didn't think we finished it. Well, and then we got to the end, we're like, we finished this already once.
Mm-hmm.
We just totally forgot how it ended. Which is
It's sad.
It's a good ending. It just, I don't know why neither one of us thought we finished it for some damn reason. I mean, it's a good game.
I don't know.
But and I'm looking forward to playing the 5th one with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We got the 5th one, bought it, and
mm-hmm.
are ready to go with it. So
Play some. I think we're gonna play Borderlands 2 a little bit though. Before that, we jump into that. Yeah, it's been fun.
Because I'd like to also get Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I know our boy.
Play that.
Judging by the cussing, shouting, and yelling, it's a much more difficult game than the last one. It was what? It's so unfair.
You guys use the retro lance?
I don't know what that is. We haven't even started the second again.
Well, that's the gun without the spinny.
The one with the. Oh yeah, I love the one with the
it.
chainsaw.
Okay.
I gotta have the chainsaw on there.
I love that retro lance, man, because it does more damage, and you can just run up and bayonet some.
Yeah,
so good.
But it was amazing too. Hold on, I was getting dry throat. It was amazing too because the first time we played through it was on Xbox, and it was very, very difficult for us. We had a hard time on normal. We struggled, but we were split screen. This time, keyboard and our own computer monitors, over the internet was not nearly as difficult. It was a lot more fun, actually.
Very
Talking
nice.
on Discord with her, and it's been good. We haven't had anything to play recently together since she's kind of on an MMO slump, and I'm not really into 76, so it was nice to play something with her. It was fun.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I'm looking forward to the next one. So, anything else did you play? I don't know what else you were doing.
No, I didn't really. I have had a lot of personal stuff going on.
You have? Where was I? I'm kidding.
Ouch.
No.
I know. Yeah, it's been a rough week. Also, allergies have been kicking our butt today. We both felt like shit all day. It's been awful.
Oh, man, I'm right with you there.
Yeah, there's something in the air. How about you, Yunfei? You been playing anything fun?
Not really, but I did finish the Dark Crystal prequel and absolutely loved everything about it.
Yeah, we're
Uni. As I was watching that and watching
in.
Deet, I was like, "This is freaking Yunfei, like pretending not to be a Gelfling." Okay,
I love her so much.
Yeah, it was you. I figured it out. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that Carnival Row and the iZombie season that's on. Was it
also
Netflix? Yeah.
No hurt Deet.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I love him too.
The Podling Paladin.
Yeah, we got to that guy at least. Spoilers! Oh my god.
Yeah, whatever. It's been out a week or more.
Well, don't spoil the movie. It's only been out for 30 years. I don't know how that ends.
Yeah. Nothing about Shard and Jen, and yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nothing about Fizzgig. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know about anything about a Fizzgig, which is what we should have named our dog because that's what she looks like.
She looks just like
you guys have a pair of Fizzgigs.
We do, and when she gets really excited, she stomps her little feet too. She's just like ah.
I love it.
But no, that's cool. Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. And Carnival Row's been really good. We're about 2 episodes left on that, and it's getting like woo. Yeah, that Legolas guy, he's getting old. I didn't think elves were supposed to age, but he's getting up
Orlando
there now.
Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's really good though. It's very gritty. Very, very gritty, very graphic. But as for me, I enjoyed the shit out of the fact that Nintendo, out of friggin' nowhere, announced that SNES games were going to be on the Switch. And that was friggin' awesome.
Dude,
That's glorious.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they announced it on the 3rd, and that night, the next night on the 4th, we got Super Metroid, Super Mario World, A Link to the Past, and a whole bunch of other games, Mario Kart. Kirby games. It's just I've been playing through A Link to the Past because it's my all-time favorite game of all time.
That is a classic.
I'm already to the Dark World, and that's between also playing Final Fantasy VIII remastered, which I never finished, and now I'm just like going with it. And they have this awesome feature now that is letting me get through it because you can speed the game up by 3 times, which I don't do during the combat unless I'm pulling magic, because pulling the magic stuff out of the enemies was the slow grind and boring as hell. But when you took that to 3 times the speed, you get like 100% of the magic that you need in like 2 or 3 minutes, and you're done. And you can move on and kill them and play the game and enjoy the story.
I love it.
Yeah, I've been digging on it this time. The first time it looks much better. You know, that old meme of you're the most handsome guy here, and it closes up, and he's like 4 pixels and a fart. They actually looks like a decent looking guy this time. It actually makes a lot more sense. But I'm also going through Final Fantasy 14 MMO wise, still plowing through it. Had some roleplay, been doing combat classes with Raylan. He got to shoot fireworks at kids, which is fun.
Hey,
well, they're magical fireworks, so he was trying to teach them how to defend against like magical attacks, and instead of throwing actual fireballs at them, tiny little fireworks like Roman candles was a much better thing. But he let them shoot him, and then he got to shoot at people, which was a lot of fun. They seem to really be enjoying it. It's a very small guild. They only do like 2 things a week, other than it's not just happens randomly when people get together. The guild leader works at a casino and is the only one that does the machines out of, it's supposed to be 4 people, but they just one person will do the job of 4. So they're trying to get that taken care of. And so it's kind of on a back burner, but it's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And I actually got to meet up with Cersei. So some of you longtime people might remember back from long when the show first started. She was someone we met, Sib and I met in Black Desert Online and then over in Final Fantasy 14. And she was one of the first listeners to the show, but she didn't stop because she didn't hate it, which is that's obviously my first impression. It was because she hated Kishmas, of course. That had to have been the only excuse, because everybody doesn't like Kishmas.
Hey, man, as long as it wasn't me, I'm good with that.
Because he's not here to defend himself. But no, it was actually her schedule. She works crazy hours. She calls it vampiric hours. So.
Graveyard shift.
Yeah. But, crap. Kishmas heard me. No, Kishmas is great. And fantastic, and he was the best guy person.
I didn't think he
there.
actually listened to this.
He does.
This would be the
man.
Well, I'm sure he does. It's just the one night where Best Buy is not making him work for slave wages. I'm just letting that stay out there. Yeah, that's it. But no, yeah. So I got to roleplay with her character. They met up for the first time, and since ever. But it was nice to roleplay with somebody that we haven't roleplayed with in probably 3 years. They just she happened to see that I was in Final Fantasy 14 again, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're in there!" So yeah, I am. The end. But no, it's been a lot. It's actually been kind of fun. It's very light roleplay since it's a smaller guild, and they're not really casual. They're just small. So there's just only so many people around at any given time on any given night, and it's kind of nice. You don't have to feel pressured, and there's so much shit going on in Final Fantasy 14. If you really want to find roleplay, you just have to. She even has a bot in their Discord channel that every single day, it's called the Balmong RP bot, and every day it gives a list of all the things that people are doing that night, like and times, where the plots are, or the ward, where it's located at, what it's called, all that stuff. It's kind of cool. So you can find it if you really want it, and it's really not all that hard, especially since we can jump between worlds now. So that was my role play, but it's been kind of nice to get back into it. It's been kind of a bummer ever since the crap fell apart in ESO, and I've just not really felt into it, and it's slowly inching back, just in time for the show to end. Yay! Hey, Belmong's very busy, and there's a lot of Fuda costs.
Wow, what was that?
That was Jess.
Dude.
She's trying to breathe through my nose.
That was Jess snorting coke off of.
So this is bonus content where Jazzy B is getting her wings currently.
Yeah.
Nah, I wish. No. My nose is all stuffy.
And for those of
okay,
you
well,
with,
thousands of people heard that now, so good.
That's okay. See?
For those of you with earbuds plugged into your ears, you're welcome.
Awesome.
No kidding.
That's allergy ASMR.
Yeah, it's second summer. Yeah, we're here. September, by the way, you're supposed to be getting cooler, not ickier.
Oh, what? But in Iowa, it was 90 for 2 days in a row, and then it was 66 for 3 days. So
Yeah, it sounds
it's like,
about right.
really?
I'll
Well,
take
it's going to get back up into the 80s on Monday. So
yeah,
it's like,
And then you're going to be like, why is everybody sick?
Yeah, I know.
Which, by the way, you guys said it earlier that you had 2 slow nights at your thing. Clearly, the only excuse is all roleplay is dying. It has nothing to do with the fact that school's back in. Roleplay has all died. It's all died.
I half a dozen people. Well, actually, I gotta say, ESO is undergoing quite there's been a lot of roleplay kind of kicked up lately, but it's all in guild and in private residences. It's not like
not out in the world.
It's all very arranged, and it's a lot of what I would call audience RP.
It's the EverQuest 2 effect.
Yeah.
Audience.
Well, no, in EQ2, we always had, even if you had tavern events, there was a lot of random RP stories that started, all that. This is what I call audience RP, which is a couple of people have a storyline that they want to role play out, and everyone else is allowed to come and watch. But you're not supposed to interact
but
and
you're
try
not
to
supposed
change
to interact with them or like.
Right. But I always do. So, and I actually had a good time on CL meeting a new guy. So, that I've never role played with before, who wants to meet Trithalis because he wants to know who the hell taught a Bosmer alien.
Well, sadly, he's a Malmer, and that's not going to fly with Trath, so that's going to be fun.
It was really funny because he was like, I'm seriously, I want, is this a player? I said, yes, it is. He goes, oh, please. Yeah. So he wants to meet him. So. It's going to be fun.
Even Sal told Trath on their way out the door, oh, I met this Mur. I think he's an Altmer who wants to learn where I learned Alien. Oh, cool. Send him by. I think he's a Malmer. No. Oh, come on. Sorry, darling. I don't traffic in Seamer. Have a good day.
The ocean is full of Seamer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to telling him that, sorry, the guy that taught me, my teacher, he doesn't want to meet you because you're Malmer because he says that you're worthless. So I don't think it'll happen.
You're filthy and unclean.
Just bring him by anyway. It'll be entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but I mean, she's going to tell him that, and he's going to be like, what? It's going to be great.
Well, if he's playing a Malmer, he should know the angst between those two.
Well, no, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's just going to be fun because Ciel's going to poke the tiger because she has to do that. It's a rule.
Kick the bear.
Of course.
Yeah, she's got to do it. So she already did that because he's very prissy. So she refers to him as he's a male Malmer, but I think he's actually female. And she tells people that when he's within hearing range, she goes, I can hear you.
That's hilarious.
She goes, oh, well, you're very pretty. It was hilarious.
Okay. So, no throwing
But
up.
yeah, the role play is actually kicking up. It's just not the kind of role play that I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me, but I do try. I am attending when I can, and I'm still creating role play where I go. So I'm happy. At least it feeds the beast in some regard. Tor's been really quiet, so
this explains you hounding me. Oh, dude, RPs, Strafe, the deal. Okay.
She sounds like a crazy person.
It's been good. No, it's been
the deal.
Jazz crazy? No, we love jazz.
I'm crazy as a loon. I know that.
Yeah. But okay, so since we're at 100 episodes, I thought it would be fun. And I use the term in air quotes, fun, to go back and listen to the first little bit of the very first episode, and maybe give our opinions on the quality of said episode. Everybody got their
yes, down to 10%, so it doesn't blow my.
Oh, I was gonna say vomit bags, but yeah, make sure your volume's proper too.
Vomit bags.
All right, so let's see here. Let's see if I can get this thing to play properly. All right, here it goes. I'll start the stream here in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, good idea, jackass. Count it off and then don't cut that out.
Oh, look, it's the boss in the olden days.
And then, whisper that I'm going to start the stream in 3, 2, 1, and then have the intro blare everybody's ears out. That's a good idea, Ashton. You're fantastic at podcasting. Good job. Oh, and then make sure you're whisper quiet so that nobody can hear you talking.
Oh my gosh.
And there's
guess what? You got to reread it.
And there's the repeat. Hold on, it'll repeat again.
Ashton Phoenix, and with me today are my two co-hosts, Sid and...
There it is. There it is. Yep. What the fuck was I? Okay, hold on. I gotta. Let's see.
Stuff in the background there.
Yeah, stuff in the background there, you jackass.
You think, boss?
Okay. I don't even remember how the fuck I managed to get it to repeat. Not once, twice, but 3 times. Stop. And then repeat again. I have no idea. And on top of that...
That's rough.
Why do I sound like I'm interviewing for fucking NPR?
You had to put that cool guy voice out, bro. That's probably what was going on.
We didn't even know what... See, at this point, we didn't even know that about the echo issue yet. We didn't hear that until after the episode really bad. So
this is Ashton Phoenix, the Barry White edition, I'm just going to say.
I just want to say that this is RPMMO Radio, and the time is 8:13 p.m. You're listening to Ashton Phoenix. Now,
the Love Hours coming after the break.
On with the countdown. Shit. So bad. All right, let's see. Play. What's it? Play. There we go.
Your host is
I'm
so
doing
far.
great.
With me today. Good. So we'll go into it.
Oh.
What is...
Again?
And there it is for a 4th time.
Why would you do that in a background there?
It's
Listen to how echoey it is. Oh my gosh.
Some things in the background there. There we go. Always learning new things. So
yeah, you're terrible at your job.
Why do you do it? You know, what is it? And all that good stuff. It's like I said, it's basically just being the character that you actually want to.
Man, I'm glad I came later. Goodness gracious.
There's a multitude of reasons.
You don't want to be a part of this?
Later, but for the most part, it just makes the game a lot more fun.
Fun.
Echo.
We've been doing it for quite some time, guys, and so is Sib. So let's go ahead and go around the room, so to speak.
Wow, that is
with,
awful.
Jazz there. So how long have
all
you
right,
been
wait, hold on.
role-playing, and where did you get your start at?
Well, I started off as a kid really enjoying pretend, and by the time I was 5 or 6, I was directing other kids in little plays almost. So much so that I got into theater and then impromptu theater.
All right, I'm gonna pause that real quick. So, Jazz. What was it like to actually manage to connect a tin can and a string to the internet and then speak into it?
Mike, you need to leave me be. I had no idea what I was doing, and you didn't help with all the echoing, so you need to be quiet.
That's glorious.
All so bad. Why did anybody continue on after the first 5 minutes of this show, let alone continue listening for 100 episodes? Sweet Jesus. You guys
they gave us a chance. They loved you guys. It worked.
You guys really, I mean, honestly, you're an amazing audience.
When I was 9
Let's see here.
10. And then I discovered D&D, and it kind of lit the fire. And then I went from D&D to LARP and SCA, which is a live action.
I never realized this. You can actually hear her
live in the moment.
I think echoing through my own headphones into my mic in the background.
And then eventually I wandered my way into MMOs and started role-playing with my husband originally, and then I met other role players.
Yep.
Wow, I can hear it echoing so bad. Oh my god.
Jazz, I hear your evil sister.
Back
2005.
This is Xanis for NPR.
Oh my god. I just want everybody to know
for our other co-host, who is
that
my lovely wife,
Republicans, Democrats, something.
Hello.
And his lovely wife, Sib.
Go ahead and give us your little blurb on the backstory there.
You were trying so hard to sound so
I
good.
Loved video games.
See, at least she sounds good. She's just very nervous. I can hear that nerves in your voice.
Whatever character I'm playing, I want to be that character. So I never really knew anything like RPing existed in an MMO until I met
It sounds like a level 1 Sid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about, 8 years ago?
Yeah. We were kind of in between them at the point, but part of the problem was we...
Ashton sounds like such the cool guy. Yeah, babe. That's what we did.
Yeah, both of us do. Yeah, both of me sound like the cool guy.
Too, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? So it was completely alien. Didn't have a clue.
What was this?
So
And
then
why are
he
you
threw me
hanging out with
into
Jazz
Wizard's
so
World, where
Wizard
my second
101.
start.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I had
I just,
so much fun. So
it's-
then we just kind of moved up and on from there to different MMOs, and
it basically just echoes from there.
Man, that's rough.
That's the very first bit of the very first show. Oh,
I would say
man.
it's juicy, but that's just rough.
Oh, it gets better. Hold on. It'll. So, I like to think that we've gotten better at this as we've gone on. I mean, I like to think that. I don't know that it's actually true, but I like to think it. Yeah, it's. Why? Why? I don't understand why I'm whispering. I really don't. I mean, I get it in later episodes because I was worried about the echo, but I don't
Maybe that's
know.
what it was.
It was. I have no idea why it was so bad. So let's see. I'm gonna do this real quick and then pause immediately. All right. So this is gonna jump to episode 2. We're gonna jump up to episode 2. We only got 3 episodes. We're gonna listen to chunks of. Trust me, you don't want to listen to any more than that. It's all bad. Especially those first 3 episodes were especially cringy. So let's see. Seek to the 34-minute mark on episode 2. So this is one of the ad reads when we started doing those. I think we did. I don't know if we did it in the first one, but after that we kind of, it's a tradition on the show. Just listen to this. Just as I just mouth and explain everything relentlessly.
Here,
and turn it back up.
Believe it or not,
and I
just,
whisper.
Before we continue,
Believe it or not, he is a
that
real
was only
role
our
player.
Second episode, but you guys won't believe this.
You won't believe
We
it.
Actually,
I
have,
really won't, bro.
An advertisement.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Someone's actually paying for us to speak about their product on this.
But was it Crapco?
Horrible podcast that we. This time with only 50% of the echoes of the previous episode.
I think we're doing better than 50.
And
but
50%
let's hear
less
let's
talent.
hear it.
All right, so this will be from Bargnar's Ogre Rhines, I believe, and I'll go ahead and pass it over. He's one of those. It's kind
Yeah,
of a
now
car
let's
dealership
explain it
thing.
instead of just
You
doing
know
what
how
you said,
they're
you
always like to do
jackass.
Their own commercials. It's
Hey,
probably
man,
not
don't be
gonna
mean to
very
yourself.
good,
That's not
but
cool.
He's a dwarf, so you tell him no. See if your head's not dented in at the end.
That's
of the day.
Gormal's buddy Bargnar.
Go ahead and take it, Bargnar. This episode is brought to you
Wow,
by
great
Bargnar's
transition.
Ogre Rhines. Need a salty,
How did you get him
fat-filled,
sober?
artery-clogging snack after a long day of
I
slaying
didn't
kobolds at the
know.
entrance of the deep mines? Of course you do! You lily-livered Nancy Pants. Only one brand of Rhines
I'm still
uses
so
real
nervous at
ogres,
this
and
point.
that's Bargnar's Ogre Rhines. Great for eating around a campfire fueled by the bodies of your fallen foes, or at the goblin head-kicking match. It's a goal, you stupid bastards. So, go out now, get yourself a crate, and if you like it, if you don't like it, actually,
Yeah,
feck
if you knew
off.
how to
Nobody gives a
read.
shite. Bargnar's Ogre Rhines. Put a little ogre in you. New flavors coming soon, as I can kill them.
Sounds like you had him sober when you did that.
Yeah,
My goodness.
almost.
I've never heard Bargnar
Thanks,
that
Bargnar.
sober.
Yeah, that was horrifying. In multiple.
Just stop. Just stop everything you're doing. It's just
Painful.
not good. It's just so. I don't know why I felt the need to really over-explain. It's always been kind of a problem of mine. I like to explain things way too much, as I'm doing right now.
He does.
But
He really, really does. And he likes to hear himself talk.
Man, your wife calling you out, bro.
Oh, Judy.
At least he knows. At least he knows he's got the issue.
I don't want to do any more episodes after this one with you.
Okay.
Oh, hey, that worked
Dang.
out for everybody. That's a good idea. All right, so let's skip ahead to a year later, episode 25. This was when we brought in that. What was that? That one guy's name, Cashmas.
Cashmas.
Kishamas.
Isn't that season 2?
Yeah, that's this. Yeah, this will be the first episode of season 2, which is, I think, let me allow myself to reintroduce myself.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll even do the. the intro. I like this intro pretty good. It had a good sound to it.
This is RPMMO Radio.
Do it live!
He loved that line.
Do it live!
Do it live!
A podcast all about role-playing and MMORPGs.
I like what you got. Good job!
With your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, Sid, Jazz, Strafe, and Kishmas.
Everybody stop. We need to go.
Man, I was there. That's awesome.
Yeah, you're actually in this episode later on.
Greetings and welcome. This is RPMMO Radio. It's good to be back.
See, that sounds
appreciate everybody joining
good
us
deal
live
better.
at twitch.tv/RPMMO
Sound like yourself, boss.
Radio.
Yeah.
From now on, every Saturday at 7 o'clock every week. You heard it right.
What a
Every
difference a year
single week.
makes.
We're going to start doing it
I like to think it
all
was
the
all
time.
because of the Kishmas was
all
there.
the time. And of course, I don't have to introduce people because our new intro does it for us. But we're going to go ahead and give a special welcome.
We're
to our
going
two
to do
new
it again.
hosts, Kishmas
We're going to do it
and
again.
sort
It's
of
a
Strafe,
tradition
who's
I've
been here
carried
once
on
before.
ever since that.
And Kishmas, who's
And
called
sort of Strafe. What a guy.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome,
Hello.
guys.
Wow.
So,
Everybody
we're
talk
gonna
over each
go,
other all at
kind
once
of-
there.
Kind of talk a little bit about, them and find out why these two assholes are here now. I mean, if they,
Yeah,
they've
this was
gotta
what.
have
Yeah, that's
something
right.
to
This
bring
was
to the
you
table,
and
otherwise,
Kishmas's
That's
That's
premiere.
why we brought them together.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
love how
literally.
you
I
guys got
asked
me so
like
quickly. Sad
10 or
face.
12 other people, and finally they're the ones that said
Uh-huh.
yes. It was
I think it's testosterone. Is that what it is?
it was really running towards the
Testosterone.
bottom. for a very long time.
It's great to be introduced as the dregs of your choices.
That's
Wow,
right.
you sound way better now.
I mean, we're all
You
about
do
honesty
sound way
here,
better.
you know. So if I'm
You
just
You still have that same laugh
being
though.
honest.
That's
You
that's
can't
so
be
funny.
Jazz and Sib. I mean, you just can't.
Well, no, the lack of chesticles is pretty much precludes them
I
of
think
that.
that NPR is Annis is driving me nuts.
Yeah, that
Testosterone levels a little
that
bit.
There's Jet.
put fear in me for quite some time. A
She's
good
immune,
long
she can
time.
already tell.
All right.
But no,
Let's pause that.
appreciate every.
I want to pause that real quick and just point out that Jazz actually put "Be right back, I need to pee" in the general chat, and I'm assuming not in the host chat to let everybody know that. So everybody in the
glorious.
general chat right now, Jazz is currently peeing. Just so you know.
I thought I was looking at the host.
We're all professionals here.
I really thought I was looking at the host chat. I
Yeah,
was
and
like,
by the way, Super Saiyan Panda, thank you for putting up the boo trying to not wet herself from Monsters Inc. That is fantastic. And thank you, Scribbles, for the 100-bit donation for not being bad anymore.
oh my god, that's hilarious.
But really, I feel
Gotta
that
love it.
if that's the reason you donated that, I almost feel like we should refund you that because really? I mean, one of us just said that they were going to go pee to everybody else, so
Hey man, never underestimate a good trollery of somebody's mistake.
now I'm just going to waste time until she gets back so I can point that out to her. Which, by the way,
As it
Jay,
should be.
Jay, I know you're listening to this on the podcast in the future. This is future you listening to this. I'm just going to give this message to you. Make sure you remind her of this later.
Your wife done goofed.
Yeah, she just let everybody know that she's right now squatting over a potty.
No idea that we're trolling her hardcore.
Mm-mm, not at all. This is almost like those things where somebody gets a hot mic and they forget to turn it off and then they go to the
Yep.
bathroom. Yeah.
Jess is typing.
She's typing. Rock.
You
Hey,
think?
hey, Jazz. How'd it go?
Love you, Jazz. We love you so
Shut up. I just saw it, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's really bad is I read that and I seriously thought I was in the host chat, and then then Ashton starts pointing it out, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
It was already too late. Super Saiyan Panda, our buddy, he already
Gotcha.
put it up. So, everything come out all right, Jazz?
The people want to know.
Now, I mean, the people are. I don't want to know, but America wants to know, and
That's
R.
right.
Kelly wants to know. She's not gonna answer me.
I answered you in channel.
She didn't even justify it with speech. Look at that.
Oh,
we love it.
Fuck y'all. That's what she just said. She just said fuck y'all, and that wasn't even pointed at me. She was like, "Listeners, fuck y'all." That's what she was doing. That's how she is. It is true. As Scribbles points out, peeing is important. You do not want to get a urinary tract infection or a kidney stone.
No.
So it is very important that the urinary tract health is taken care of when it comes. You about done with this, Jess?
Yeah, I'm all done. You can continue now, please, asshole.
You know you love me.
I do, yes.
Well, just think of it. Eventually, you'll be able to do it. If you're doing this all on your own, you could make sure I am never on there ever again. And this will all go much smoother for you.
I will miss you a lot. You know that. I'm going to have you on as a guest speaker at some point.
But, boss, one thing will never change. You know what that is? Since she owns a new channel, she'll always be going first. And what we do first in roleplay.
That's true. Yeah, unless she starts in her own tradition. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes.
We'll see how I can get away with it.
Yeah, that's true. So let's see here. Since that was awful, it is amazing. It really does amaze me. Quality was something I wanted to do, like, really hard. I was really striving for that this entire time, and
he is very obsessed with quality.
Quality sound, yeah. It's got to sound good. Content, I have no control over. I mean, look what they're working with. They can only cover this up so much. I'm just saying but at least sound quality I can do that for. And man, those first episodes, even up to that first year, that 25th episode, it was just mic issues, and it always seemed like there was one thing or another. Like today, for example, computers just decide to randomly stop using their ports. Poor Yunfei right now.
It's technology,
is listening on her speakers because her headset was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So she's pushed to talk.
Thank you,
the tech
Windows
says no.
Yeah, that Windows update really fucked a lot of people over. Whatever it was, it seems to have screwed over a lot of people.
See, I've learned that when I get on my computer after I've been at work in the morning, because I get home in the afternoon, in the evening, and I see that it's had an update. I'm like, you fucker. So I go check everything because I know it screwed things up. It always screws things up.
Yeah. So her headset and her microphone, funny enough, before we started, it would turn on the little circle on Discord, but there'd be no sound. So clearly it was picking something up, but it was just like, I'm just going to throw it away.
Not today.
Yeah, thanks Microsoft. Yeah, you did good. You done good. Hellcat says this is why I don't update, which is also why their information is known by no less than 100,000 Russians.
Yep. You have to update or the damn shit doesn't work.
Or even if you do, what was that I saw you posted, Jazz, about your Google? Was it your calendar or something?
Yeah.
There's bullshit with it.
Well, it's not new. It's actually been ongoing, but they recently rediscovered a thing through Google Calendars where they use it to auto post on your calendar their phishing advertisements as this is happening today thing on your calendar, because it is an auto push. So it does a push notification, and if you're hooked up, it goes to your phone. It goes everywhere that you're hooked up to your Google Calendar. So I was getting this push notification on my phone, on my tablet, on my computer, and it was all click here to win $100,000.
Even her toaster was like, click here to win 100,000 toasts.
I was so pissed. So I took it in, and they're like, we don't know what's going on with your phone. So I actually had to go do fuck you, a cellular. I swear to God. It's bad enough that they lost a fucking tower, and they're like, we didn't lose a tower. So I went from 4 bars to 1 after the tornado for no particular reason. Is that what you're going with? We'd have to get back to you on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do that, because I'm looking at new people, because I'm about done.
Keep working on it, Cletus.
So I'm already irritated with them, and I go in and I show them my phone and I show them the update, and I'm like, this is not okay. It's a phishing thing. What's a phishing thing?
Oh my God, sweet Jesus.
Sweet Jesus. It's never mind. I just turned and walked out. I was like,
you really should have at that point. What's a phishing thing? You work in okay.
So I just walked out, and then I came home and I did a couple of searches, and I found that there's like, millions of people complaining about this. And I was like, show me how to shut it off for the love of God. And then I posted it on my Facebook because I found it, and I was like, right. And I went and I shut it off on my Google Calendar so it can't do the push updates anymore.
Ugh.
And I'm fine because I thought I had malware, and I did actually. When Malware Bytes, I love you so much. Went and got Malware Bytes again, ran their software because for whatever reason, you know how when you get a virus, if you try to download an antivirus, it doesn't work.
They block it. Yeah, they got to block.
Somehow Malware Bytes gets away with it. I don't know how they do it, but I don't care. It's like my go-to person. If I have a virus, if they can't get it off my computer, I just need to wipe my.
This
no
rant,
point at that point.
This rant brought to you by Jazz.
So anyway,
giver of the rant.
Yeah, that's what that post was about. Was because
yeah, that's awful.
Once again, something that we have on our computers that Windows fucked up, and then they started getting these push notifications in. And yeah, it was going everywhere.
That's a
and this
combination
whole
of
notification
Google and
thing in
Window,
my
though.
computer is also on my phone because all the software shares their data. So yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Super Saiyan Panda put it up there. Don't get duped by this sneaky Google Calendar spam.
Yep, right there.
That's it. So yeah, it's so back. Yeah, quality is a big thing, and the updating things tends.
You gotta update, but damn, it's annoying when they change your crap.
It always interferes with the show. Even Discord updating a couple times has kept us from starting on time or it's like, hey, your default microphone is now your USB remote control.
Remember when it shut down on us mid-episode?
They did that to me too. It was like it was something else on my computer altogether that isn't even a fucking microphone.
Oh yeah,
I was like, really? Where the hell did you pull that out of?
That one day when we it was connected to one data center for Discord, and it kept. That was so frustrating. So frustrating. Luckily, we figured out if that happens again, we can switch to a different data center. But
yeah.
Oh man, that was a 2-week period where it's a pain in the ass. But so
that was pretty brutal. Yes,
I'm really glad we've got at least quality, hopefully at least on par with a marginally listenable podcast. I've listened to a lot of them, and when it sounds like somebody's, we have friends that do a podcast, and I love them, and it's really good, but they're in one room. It's a bunch of people sitting around one mic, and it sounds like a bunch of people in a room sitting around one mic because it echoes in the empty room, and it's not the best of quality. Content's good, quality's terrible. Whereas we have decent quality and terrible content. We have solid 15, 20 minutes of content jam-packed into a 2-hour show. It works out pretty well for the most part so far, but
you got the odd rant in there. You
right,
got the going to the weeds.
Yeah, we got a lot of weed. I mean, it's basically legal on this show at this point across the country. So, yeah, it was kind of fun. I wanted to do a little bit of what we learned while doing the show. Over 100 episodes. I think one of the big ones is it's a lot more work than I thought it would be at first, and and it shows given what we just listened to. That first bit was wow, that was atrocious. But yeah, it's a good deal of work. I mean, it's fun work ish. Some episodes are definitely better than others. Nobody can do the same thing every time again and again. One thing I have found absolutely fascinating is, I know Sib had said it wasn't her most enjoyable show because it was a lot to listen to, but the death of innovation in the history of MMOs, which was a lot of information, is our most downloaded episode of everything we've done, including all the episodes before it that have been around longer. That one episode about the death of innovation in MMOs and the history of them is our most downloaded episode to date.
That is impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I understand.
It was just a lot of information that I don't know anything about.
Right. Well, and I really, honestly, I kind of knew that going in. I thought it would be a neat episode, but I knew it's a lot of statistics and a lot of dates and times and releases. But I guess it must be that nostalgia thing Like going back through, the last 20 years of MMOs, kind of like how I was so excited to get games I played back in the mid to late 90s on the Switch for the SNES. I was totally stoked to be able to play those again without, having to.
Sometimes the classics are classic, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just all I can guess is it hit that nostalgia button of talking about all these defunct games that people haven't thought about in forever. What number episode is that? That is a fantastic question. It is a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm going to do what politicians. I'm going to do what politicians do real quick. It's questions like that are the foundation of this country, and without people like you to ask questions like that, this country would not be where it's episode 83, Modern MMOs and the Death of Innovation.
that's
time.
The thing.
I'm sorry, my time is up.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty much.
It's episode 83.
On that, because otherwise, Project 99 wouldn't exist. SWGMU would not exist. Like all these other old MMOs that people brought back on their own time, because sometimes people want to play classic.
Yeah, that one's. Yeah, we went all the way back to Meridian and basically up to.
Oh man,
sort of the last. And which, by the way, too, congratulations on WoW for that WoW Classic server recreating the entire original WoW release, including the thousands and thousands of people in queue waiting to play the game. That was an amazing recreation of the launch of WoW that I know was not entirely intentional. But I've actually heard a lot of people are really enjoying it, which is kind of cool. It kind of shows me that maybe there's a market for games that aren't easy mode from the get-go. Developers,
imagine that.
Imagine that.
I even saw was it your Strafe, your Project 1999 for EQ? They're starting a new server, aren't they? They just announced that in October.
They're starting the green server, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get the classic experience of logging in when nobody has any kind of loot in October.
Yeah. Yep. So, weird. There's a market for challenging MMOs.
Imagine that.
Weird.
Just looking at you. So yeah, that was one of the things we learned. It's a fun but trying experience. Also, the second thing I think we've all learned: public speaking gets easier the more you do it, as long as you aren't murmuring like a fucking NPR host and trying to, put plants to sleep.
Well, boss, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're mostly always right. Except for that one time.
Thank you, Strafe. I'm glad you said that, and I appreciate your
that
outlook
was the one time
on life. No. And from here on out, I would like you to refer to me as Betty.
No.
Okay.
I'll call you Betty Don't.
Betty Don't. Scotty Don't. Yeah, I will say, clearly listening to that, Sib was real nervous. Like you had like
you could hear the nerves,
stomach nerves.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, I'm barely conscious at this
He's
point.
Like, yeah, whatever.
I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah, it's a thing I do now. But
you got that
long,
suffering tone in the back of your voice now. I got to hang out with these nerds.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it? Oh gosh, when's my show coming on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm.
When's my show coming
on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What show? I'd like to know because I'd like to go watch.
Let's watch a show. And in the morning, I'm making waffles. So let's see. RP and MMOs. This is one thing. I mean, I always kind of knew it. I think we all did, but it really ingrained how vastly different the RP experience is from game to game. Just like the community-wise. And there are similarities, like the lore and grammar Nazis. They're pretty universal. ERPers.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but they seem to be in every game too. That's fairly universal. But also amazing people around the world that at any other time in history, if it weren't for these games, you would have had no chance to ever meet or be friends with.
I never would have met Jazz, Strafei, Yunfei. None of you guys. I wouldn't know. There's been no chance.
Me? No, I'm playing.
You. I did not meet you on the internet. If it weren't for the post office and Benjamin Franklin, you and I would never have met. That I can say.
That's true.
He was the creator of the post office, so I like to think Benjamin Frankly. Quality show, guys. Real good show. Real good. 100 episodes, by the way. 100 episodes of Benjamin Frankly.
Frankly.
I'm so sorry, but
hey, we know that guy. He's down the stage now.
So as the joke was going to go, I like to say that Benjamin Frankly was the one that hooked us up, but frankly, the joke's already fallen and died because I murdered it in its sleep. So bad. Another thing I think we all kind of learned, there's a lot more furlies and scalies about in the world than I thought.
That was disturbing.
I also learned what scalies are, which, by the way, thanks Human Floyd for pointing that out and giving me that information.
Although we probably didn't want to ever know what it really was.
Yeah, no, it
doesn't really bother me. I
don't
enjoy. I don't care either. I don't find it really all that disturbing. I was surprised, that's for sure.
I am surprised at the number. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to make fun of him, just like I make fun of role players for being gigantic nerds that live in a fantasy land because reality's too hard. I know that because I'm one of them, but you're still giant nerds that live in a fantasy land because reality is too hard. That's fine. Which, by the way, Hellcat says, I am so making a character named Benjamin Frankly in ESO now.
Woohoo!
Benjamin Frankly will live on eternally.
We are such bad influences.
We are.
We really are.
We are. Benjamin Frankly needs to say things like, 7 years ago, I used to write memes. Benjamin Frankly. just get it all mixed up. But no, furries, scalies, man, there are a lot of you guys out there. Good on you. I don't really care. I'm still going to make fun of you.
Found some in Project 1999.
I bet. Yeah, they're out there. And by the way, too, Human Floyd, which he's one of the reasons, actually, I think we got to this point. Him and his RPHQ thing and his crew there, even though he kind of fell out of it and, his life just got too busy. It is under new management, as we've mentioned before, so you should check it out. I think it's RPHQ rphq.org, if I remember. They're on YouTube and things like that, so you should check them out. They're doing really good things, and they're on Twitter. They're on Twitter if you look up there.
rphq.org.
.org. I remembered it because I remember the first time I said .com over and over, and that leads you absolutely nowhere. But Human Floyd, man, thank you for your contribution to the show and vice versa. It was a very good symbiotic relationship, and it was very cool to get to know you. Again, would never have met that guy if it wasn't for the show, even though we were both in ESO. Wouldn't have, very unlikely I would have ever met him. So that was cool. Yeah, lots of scalies, lots of furries. You guys keep your freak on, do your thing. Nobody cares. It's all right. You're still better than vegans and CrossFitters because you don't feel the need to tell everybody every 5 seconds.
Yeah, hey, that's true.
I'm just saying. I looking on the bright side.
But boss, I gotta eat my kale, and you should get your kale every day because it's healthy. And
Strafei,
eating meat is bad.
You consider yourself a religious guy, right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, kale is the fruit of the devil.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's food of the devil. It's the devil's spawn. They actually call it the devil's weed.
The devil's.
No, that's
the devil's cabbage.
The devil's lettuce.
No, because that's legal now. I'm saying that since we need to replace one green plant with another green plant, so if we're gonna make marijuana legal, we need to make kale illegal.
Oh my.
So it's the devil's cabbage?
It's the devil's weed. It's because it's literally just a fucking weed. It's a weed. You're eating weeds. Stop it. Also, quit making almonds into fucking pork chops.
Drinks, and I tried it, and I'm like, where did you get this? In a gym sock? Oh, it's good for you. I'm like, you have a good time with that. It's a lie. I'm like, yeah, you doubly have a good time with that.
And yes, Sib, they ground almonds and stuff and shape them into like pork chop flavored bullshit.
No.
Yeah. It's because they're so desperate for something that tastes like anything
they try to recreate things that taste good, like steaks and pork chop and turkey and ham.
That reminds me of the Thanksgiving tofurkey at an old professor's residence one year.
Jazz?
What?
As our resident lettuce eater, because you're glutinous, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
What about it?
About the vegans have gone, they lost their mind. They've just lost their mind.
They haven't lost their mind. They're just branching out.
They're starved for meat, and that's why they try to replicate
that is
it with
probably
almonds.
true, but there's just as many people who eat meat that eat this stuff. So it's
and
not just the vegans.
And you know what those people are? Stupid.
Healthy?
Stupid.
They're dying slowly.
I thought he was going to go with traitors.
Yeah.
That was
I have a great big bag of kale, and I hate kale.
The devil's weed.
Yeah.
I hate kale.
Yeah,
I hate the way it tastes.
This is what I expect from the
peppery
pagan.
And gross.
This is what I expect from the pagan on the show.
Anyway, but you can put it in a crock pot and fill it with water and cook it really slow, and you can get all the nutrients out of it, and then strain out the kale, which you throw away at that point, or put it into your compost, and you use the vegetable broth in soups, and then they have a peppery taste, which isn't bad. So see, I found a way around eating kale.
Yeah, I did too. It's on the shelf of Walmart. It's called a vitamin.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, they have those. It's very easy. You just swallow it with a little water. You're good for your day.
I got one for my grandma from the Depression era. We can get rid of kale completely. Stuff grows down here in the South called poke salad.
Yeah.
Kind of blows up like spinach. You got to get it young because when the stem gets older and the stem gets red, it's poisonous.
Oh, is that
before it gets poisonous?
Is that stuff that if you touch it after it's gotten big, it makes your hand itch like a mother?
Oh, I don't know about that part, but I know it cooks up like spinach. It cleans you out real well. And not too bad for you. So
I think the creeper was trying to get Fred.
Oh yeah, don't try to hump Fred. She is big on that hashtag me too. She will get you, Peanut. No, she's not going to put up with that. He tried to mount the girl, and she sniffed him
back.
So yeah, he rebuffed his. Yeah, no, you're not gonna get
it, Fred. Get him.
Fred's gonna
get him, Fred.
Winifred don't. She is a strong single woman, but don't need no man humping her back.
Mm-mm.
While she lurks up on you and Sibs when
that's
you're
right.
watching movies, right? Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
independent. Hold me, I'm cute.
Let's see here. Another thing we learned, when you bring up a topic but people don't want you to do, they think you can tell them what to do on your show, and when you tell them, I'm going to do it anyway, they get real upset, pretend they don't listen, and then listen anyway, and then try to make you feel bad. But by the way, that didn't work. See the ERP exposure episode for that. That was fun.
That was hilarious.
That
to
was
push
fun.
back. I'm like, look, you guys are feeling guilty. We can't help you're feeling guilty, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I get it. I didn't want to give those people more exposure. Not to be double entendre, more exposure than they were already wanting. But it needed to be talked about, and it's our show, so go fuck yourself. And and oh yeah, and I said the Death of Innovation was our most downloaded episode, which makes them all giant nerds. So. Well, with that, I think we can trust. I think we can trust Super Saiyan Panda to bring him down. I think you guys think we can trust this guy. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess. All right. So Super Saiyan Panda, thanks for calling RPM Radio. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to call and say congratulations on the 100 episodes.
Cool. Get off our show. No, I'm kidding.
Aw.
No, appreciate that. I'm really glad that you've been here. You've been here damn near since the beginning, I think, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Been since the beginning.
Why? I have to
hung
ask.
out with you guys way back in EQ2 too.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've known us, so is it the friendship? Is that why you've stuck around? That you just the pity? Is that really all there is to it?
Pity.
Maybe about 98% of it. Maybe.
Oh, well that's 1% less than I thought it would be.
Boss, he is connected to Gormal's camp because he was Gormal's parent for a while, so that might be a reason. I don't know.
No, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Again, in all honesty, I sometimes don't understand why, but I appreciate it.
You guys are hilarious.
Aw.
There you
Hey,
go.
we're funny. We like that.
Just remember, like my dad said, looks aren't everything.
True. And dude, get rid of that NPR voice. I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about, but Super Saiyan Panda, I am glad you called in today, and I thank you for that.
It's no problem at all, and I really appreciate your show.
He's got you beat.
Neat.
That is pretty impressive.
Neat. I can't do it. Even slowing down, is it harder to think talking slower for some reason? I don't know why that would be. You'd think I'd have more time, but I'm like...
No, you just got to slow your brain down.
Oh, that's no problem there. I mean, it barely functions.
Oh, no, you can speed it up, maybe.
They say that you only use 10% of the human brain, which if that was true, you'd all be dead.
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah, I know it's not true.
Okay. They got that silly thing.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but it was. I mean, when I grew up, everyone told it.
Oh yeah, it was like fact.
It was like fact.
We
But
only use 10% of our brain's potential. I mean, I'm
even
pretty
scientists
sure.
are like, we have no idea where it started, and even scientists believed it was true. But no.
So some troll back in history put that out there, and it stuck.
Some dude in Phoenix in like 1849 wrote an article like, "Hey, watch this. We only use 10% of our brain."
Now to the fisticuff match.
Yes. Now, no fisticuffs. Ha, ha, ha. Let's keep women in the kitchen. Ha, ha, ha. Those were the good old days, weren't they, fellas?
Yeah.
Silent.
Sure.
I mean,
to my future wife, I know, but now, yes.
Oh, if you ever get a future wife, you're gonna completely disavow every and anything on this show.
Nah,
there was a dog.
It's part of me.
Bite him, Fred. Don't let him touch you. You don't need that kind of abuse in your life.
Get him,
Fred. Get him.
She's staring at me. They're both staring at me like, what? But no, I appreciate you listening this whole time, Pan. It's been really cool having,
It has.
No worries. And it was fun making that little bit of content that I did for you, too.
Yeah,
you came up with some really good ads.
Which, by the way, with the other show, it's going to include like all sorts of stuff. So, if you want to like make fun of EA or anything like that's not hard. That'll now all be possible because we won't have to stick to roleplay related things in MMOs. We can do the whole spectrum of stupidity that is out there in the gaming industry, movies and TV, and unfortunately politics, because I know that's going to come up a time or two.
At least.
But there's nothing stupid in politics, right, everybody? Everybody, we all agree. Politics.
Oh, no,
nothing.
Got really quiet in here.
I just depressed. It's just like instant depression.
It was like a moment of
so
silence.
Weird. Yeah, it really was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's that moment we're all we're all doing shifty eyes between the various states we're in.
Did I just kick Jazz out? I think I did.
I think you did.
You just kicked Jazz out. Dang. What a statement.
Bye.
There we go. Jazz,
Welcome
come
back.
Jazz. No, I was trying to kick the.
Goodbye.
Hold on.
Baby, come back.
Oh,
you can blame it all on Ashen. Is she back?
Nope. Sorry, Jazz.
What the hell?
I was trying to kick that groove bot out, and for some reason, it jumped you up into its spot.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? Hello? And then I looked, and I was like, oh, I got kicked out.
I was trying to kick the bot out. I'm sorry. That's what you get for trying to take over the show.
Right.
This is.
Yeah.
That's what this. Get him, Fred. Get him. Yeah, she does not like to be touched.
Get him, Fred.
She liked me.
No, by other dogs. She does not like
other dogs.
She likes to wrestle with Spanky, but she knows Spanky. But if you try to jump on her back, she is not a fan, apparently. Spanky doesn't do that because he is a gentleman. Peanut, however, is a dirty old pervert. Look at Spanky's looking. Oh, anyway, this is not the dog hour. But no,
the dog hour.
This is the dog hour. But no, since this is a roleplay thing, this is clearly what this entire thing is. With our 100th episode, is Jazz is splitting the guild in half, and she is taking her people with her.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
That's not so.
Which has never happened in guilding or roleplay.
We warned y'all back in the day,
a couple times
didn't
a
we?
year. No, it's not happening that way.
I'm actually, for one, very curious and excited to see what Jazz does with it.
I am too, actually.
I've got some ideas. I got
It
ideas.
will be epic.
having somebody that's not so controlling in the driver's seat might be pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to the intro with the
hold on.
I'm getting kicked. I love you guys. Bye.
No. We welcome a difference of opinion here. However, have you met Jazz?
Yes, I have.
Have you been in any of her guilds?
Hey, now.
Are you sure about that more controlling?
Okay.
I am nice. I am a good guild leader.
God damn it. I am a nice fucking person.
Okay, here's the difference.
It is a Jazz tater ship for a reason. I'm just saying.
I'm just going to say, here's the difference. You just talked over everybody, Ashen, to get your point across. Jazz at least lets everybody get their words in.
Ha ha. She loves me more.
Now he's going silent.
No, listen. Listen.
Listen.
Wait a minute, was that Kishmas?
It was Kishmas.
I think we got
Oh, dude.
That was a little Kishmas.
One more time with feeling, listen, a certain way you got to do this thing.
Listen. Kishmas, listen to me. Listen. We love you, buddy.
We love you, Kishmas.
I'd forgotten he did that. That was his catchphrase.
That
was totally his catchphrase. But no, you got anything else you want to say real quick, or just
that's
boot you out?
all.
All right. Well, get out of here.
Go ahead.
I'm tired of talking to you.
No, we're not tired. Don't say that. He's our Super Saiyan Panda. He's our favoriteest person.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of this journey.
Yes,
we do
very
appreciate
much.
it. You and everybody else like you that is just obviously has the patience of saints and angels and loves dogs.
See you, Guild Night, bro.
Later. See you guys.
Later, bud. Thanks for calling RPMMO Radio. Appreciate it. Which, if you want to call RPMMO Radio, you too can do that at rpmmoradio.com/Discord and join the server and put yourself in the caller waiting room.
Just be aware, you only have 1 minute left.
Yeah. Well, we did start about 15 minutes late.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Yunfei.
No.
Dang.
Microsoft's bad.
I expect
let's put the blame where it belongs.
I expect a call from Bill Gates to apologize for what he did to you.
Yeah, he should.
I'm waiting.
We're waiting a while on that one, boss.
We'll wait.
Just saying.
He's only a multi-billionaire. He can call in. He can afford the
Don't hold
collect
your
call.
breath because you might die.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna die. All right, so before we let it go, well, two things. Well, let's give a last little. Oh, wait. I was gonna say we gave a last bit of advice, but
I see a Canadian.
There is a wild Canadian has
there
appeared. Let us see
Yay!
if we can.
Yay!
Let's see if we can get him. I'm gonna throw my Pokeball at Ericus. Thanks for joining the show. What's up, buddy?
Hello. I just want to call and say congratulations once more for your 100th episode. I was baffled the first time I was being poked at. Hey, come watch our show. Come watch your podcast show. It's like, oh, let's see. I've been pro enough. All right, let's see this podcast show that you apparently have thousands of viewers listening to there on your Twitch and all that nonsense. So, it's good. It's good quality, of course. How much you like to talk about your quality podcasting. So, this is something else to listen to while I'm leveling my alts in all my games. So it's good to
It's good to keep those standards low and make sure you're doing something else while you're listening. That's actually pretty sound advice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much you're playing your games, listening to good advice.
That's what everybody here does.
Hey,
Well,
yeah,
doing?
he's not wrong.
What? I'm just perusing Amazon right now. I'm not doing anything really.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm glad you actually did tune in. It's always good to have
You're
friends.
an ass for turning around and pointing at me.
Well, I can't point. I can't point at Strafe and Jazz because they're. I mean, what do I get? Point at the screen? Yeah, you two.
Hey, Jazz is not in anything.
I may or may not still be healing an unrest in that ding 19. I'm just saying.
But Jazz has.
Yeah, but Jazz is not right now because I can see that she's not playing anything.
But Miss Press, you
can
also
turn
been
that
playing
off.
76 with me during the show sometimes. So hey, it's on you too.
Sometimes.
Which is, as I'm saying, he's in good company. Bless you.
Misery loves company, as they say, but
Hey,
it does.
Look at all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all friends with me still. Clearly, they love Misery.
Something means something. You have something on them.
Yeah. Pictures, actually. Very, very incriminating pictures.
Boss, we don't discuss the pictures, remember? I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good. There you go.
But no, I appreciate you have listened in and giving us a shot all this time and calling in as many times as you have. You probably,
Yes.
I think you might be our most. I'm just gonna say it. You're our most call-in caller. I don't even know if it's true or not, but I'm gonna. We had a parade and an award ceremony for you, but unfortunately, the dogs that I'm babysitting peed on it. So I mean, if you still want it.
It was an impressive maple leaf, I'm just saying.
It was basically a giant maple leaf cake with red, white, and blue on the inside.
Oh, God. God, I can come in through empty promises like that. There, I'm still, looking through the transfer accounts for the bribery, but other than that, it's always been a distinct pleasure, and hopefully I can it's a shame I never listened to your show at the very first beginning there because I wasn't aware.
It's not a shame. You missed nothing.
You came in when the game was good, bro.
I listened. It's like, oh, well then.
Yeah, well, I just want to let you know, while we do appreciate that, the entire point of this whole show has actually just been getting you to listen to so we could hack back through your connection to Canada and get the top secret plans to your Canadian Zamboni technology. And now, thankfully, with the reason we're ending the 100th episode is we have those plans in America. We'll be copying Canada's Zamboni technology, and we will have ice as smooth as Canada within a year.
Also, we need that wisdom of the North, just saying.
We need that bagged milk.
Bagged milk?
I love you, Erica.
Nice.
I listen, and I always put in at good points. So.
Oh, that one got me.
Yeah, unfortunately, halfway the translation will go into French, so hopefully you got a nice dictionary around for that.
She doesn't always troll, but when she does,
it will be. I believe that would be lay bag of milk if we translate that into French Canadian.
Lay leche or something like that.
Sure,
That's
why
Spanish.
not? So, as we all show our linguistic abilities.
This is spiraling out of control.
Quickly out of control. There's the bags milks. Thank you, Super Saiyan Panda. Wow, you had that picture.
Wow, those are huge.
You had that picture incredibly
you get
fast,
about 3 bags worth in that one giant bag.
That's isn't there 2 bags per bag?
Does it last long? I mean, or does it? I'm just curious.
You got the tag that you used to hold the bag together to tell you the expiry date.
Huh.
Or as we call it in America, the expiration date.
Well, tomato, tomata, whatever.
Wow. You're also
Indigo
bilingual.
Jules, that's hilarious.
Yeah. What's that? Oh. What's that? What? Indigo Jules?
He put a gif up in general.
Oh, yeah. The what the fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
At the very end, it says, you clowns need jobs or something.
Y'all motherfuckers need jobs.
Yeah, there you go.
Truth.
That's right. Man. But no, thanks for calling in, Ericus, and I appreciate the kind words. I really do.
December, the maple syrup is coming there. I just gotta get through a customary BS and all that there. And
I actually would be curious what true Canadian maple syrup, fresh maple syrup would be like.
Oh my god!
Oh, Yunfei's up.
Please share. I'm such a maple syrup snob. It's not even funny.
Well, just send me the information there, and I'll get through my post transactions and see what can happen from there. So, and yes, Sibby, I'm going to get you peanut butter as well if they allow it.
Oh, Canadian butter is actually what they call that up there.
I am on a
no, they don't.
Peanut butter kick right now too.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Peanut butter on rice cake because it's good for me.
She was. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
not. It tastes good.
It looks like someone's putting peanut butter on styrofoam, packing peanuts.
Yeah, she never role plays about that either. It's strange.
Okay, speaking of strange, anyone remember the dude that would put garlic in his coffee?
No. What was that?
I don't remember. What game was that? There was somebody that every time he ordered coffee, he'd be like, I like garlic coffee.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember? Okay.
That was Guild Wars 2.
Oh, that was Guild Wars 2. Okay. Yeah, I remembered it.
Because my character was the waitress, and she's always, the first time she was like, what?
The fuck is wrong with you? Is that was after that?
I do like how you finished that thought, bro. Good call.
And of course, I always like my 2 ice cubes too in all my drinks. Remember that?
And so Carrie would always put 3.
Yeah, everything's like 3, 4, half ice cube. It's
and your dirt water.
Dirt water will fall by kidney punch, but we can't talk about that.
He always ordered tea on caves, so it was always dirt water.
Sorry,
he still orders
not
tea
yelling
on
at you guys.
caves.
It's the dogs.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
I know it's true. Yep.
Okay.
Good memories of all these times doing this. So hopefully I have many more there. And
yeah,
well,
if the show, hopefully, if the show continues on, Jazz, and you'll have two shows to listen to now. Eventually, when we get around to it, which you'll hear about soon. Yeah.
Appreciate your listening, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, a lot.
You guys are like teaching me all these things all these years. Is like hopefully I can pass these on to the next generation role players. Try and keep it alive there. Make sure it's still a thing there. People still enjoy it.
Because we're so old, we're going to die soon.
We're teaching you bad habits to pass on.
I was gonna say, you see what they did there? Like when the next generation is crazy, they're like, "Oh, blame those guys at RPMMO Radio."
Which, by the way, Straffe, good job on actually getting their letters in the correct order for the first time.
Hey man,
I think, ever.
It only took me 2 seasons. There you go.
Right. I don't remember how many different ways you've said it over the years. I wish I'd made a compilation. I would love. There's so many hours to go through, but that would have been awesome. Hey,
we need a montage of that. It'd be hilarious.
Yes, that is exactly what Peanut looks like about right now. What Super Saiyan Panda put in there. That's
oh my god. Oh my god.
That's you. That's you. You perverted little freak.
Write him down, boy. There you go.
And don't.
And the dog's just laying there like, what the fuck ever, man.
Just wipe me off when you're done.
Oh,
It's too goddamn hot. Do whatever you want.
I think we've all been there.
Yep.
Oh heaven.
All right. Well, Ericus, I appreciate you calling in, brother. It's good talking to you again.
Always.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.
All right.
Oh, God,
I can't. Fortunately, I can't look away from that gif of that little dog humping that thing. I just can't. Okay, I'm gonna have to
look away.
I'm gonna have to switch to the
There's
host
no way to
channel
look
so
away.
I can not see that because it's hysterical.
That is freaking funny.
That is so good. Last bit of advice here. I think we can all agree on these. Have fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's not a slog or a challenge to log in or get involved. It's a hobby. It should be fun. If you're not, maybe sometimes it's going to be a little bit of work. It should be a little bit of work. You don't build model airplanes and like, oh, well, I'm already done after not having tried. That's not always the fun part. It's like building Legos. Yeah, getting to the end is fun. It takes a bit of work to see the end result. So you got to do that, but at the time you should still be having fun at least. I mean, anybody else? You got anybody object to that? Fun? Anybody
I think that's
fun?
really an important part, but it's also make sure that your fun isn't taking away from someone else's fun.
That's good.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something I think that we forget when we're like, this is fun. Well, I like confrontation. I like really gory conversations.
Right. You like gritty shit.
Yeah. And I know that really bothers some people. So if somebody tells me this isn't working, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I'll cut it loose when you're around. I'll cut it less when you're around. I keep it in mind that while it might be fun for you, it might not be fun for someone else. But then again, you have people who are like, lore is just a suggestion.
You don't deal with those folks.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with that because that ruins my fun when you're talking about being a half dark elf Ixar who laid fairy babies. And I have a problem with that. And it does not help me when I have to sit there and deal with it. So if you're having fun, that's great, but maybe hang out with more people who think that's great. And when you're dealing with role play, try to get with people that also enjoy what you enjoy. Because if you're constantly trying to integrate with people who don't enjoy what you enjoy, then neither of you has fun. And that's no fun for anyone.
Yeah, very well said.
Yep. Also, don't feed Gormal after midnight, and don't get in between Bargnar and his beer.
No, both of those will end up in death.
Oh, yeah.
At the very least, missing people. That's for sure.
Also, Kishmis is still probably running Black Tar heroin, but we don't know where. Just saying.
I actually think he moved on to Oxycontin.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Moving on to
Stay free out there, bro. Stay free.
I mean, he's in the wilderness of New York State. Yeah, Oxy probably selling it all to the hipsters in New York City.
That is good advice, though, Jazz.
Poppy. He says he's in the poppy business.
Oh, he's in the poppy business.
So
that explains a lot.
Yeah. So he's working with the Wicked Witch of the West and putting women to sleep in fields of flowers. Gotcha.
That doesn't sound creepy at all.
Not at all.
No, that's the plot of the Wizard of Oz. What are you talking about? Poppies, sleep.
You sound like the Chamberlain out of Dark Crystal.
Yeah, it did a little bit, didn't it? Yeah, that was actually not the intent. So let's see here. That said, legwork. Got to do a little legwork. It makes a big difference. Just know the difference between a slog and having fun. If you're doing a little legwork and it gets to still be the fun, that's awesome. If it turns from legwork into a slog and you would rather hang yourself with your wireless mouse, probably a slog.
Don't forget to take a break too, because if you go too much, you will burn out. So take time for yourself not to get in it and then come back fresh.
Well, the good thing is that these days you could have any number of brand new, fresh out of the box MMOs to play with. Oh, wait.
That's true. Oh, wait. Yeah, no.
Although I will say, the Scribbles, there's one to keep an eye on, and that's with Scribbles MMO. Defend the Night. That's the one he's kind of one of the developers on. So keep an eye on that one. It's their... they ask a lot of really good questions to their community on their Discord channel, and they're trying to recreate one of those old school MMOs, and I really, really wish them nothing but the best, and I hope they get there. I know I don't participate too much because I'm always at work when they ask questions, and by the time I get there, people have already basically said exactly what I would say, so I just really not point in repeating what other people say. But yeah, look up Google Defend the Night MMO. You'll find what they're doing, what they're all about. It's really, really, I got a lot of hope for it. So it's still going to be a little while. It's a very small group of people doing it, but a small group is better than a large soulless corporation, Electronic Arts, that doesn't give a shit about quality and just pumps garbage out. So I'm willing to wait for quality over quantity.
You're talking about Daybreak for a second there, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about. They would actually have to have pumped something out recently that would make me think of them.
Out there was accurate.
But yeah, there you go. If you're on our Twitch feed, they put up their Twitter account. So let's see what the other one. Be descriptive, be creative, and be inventive in your role play. I can't stress that enough. Don't be. It's kind of like the public speaking thing. Don't worry about being too shy. Put yourself out there a little bit. Don't just slash nods all the time. You can be a little descriptive.
Also, if you are shy and you're afraid to put yourself out there, like Ashen's suggesting, when someone tries to talk to you, and talk to them, engage, and don't just be the ice princess or ice king on the wall saying, "I'm too cool for school." But why don't I have role play? It's like, put yourself out there. Even if you're shy, if someone tries to talk to you, talk back.
Yeah.
We'll go to good places most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is it's hard for some people who want to play a very edgy, dark character. And then they don't have a lot of role play because nobody bothers with them, because every time that someone tries to talk to them, they snap their head off.
Gee, it sounds like last guild meeting, Jazz. Am I right?
It happens a lot with people who are trying to create an edgy character and they end up standing on the sidelines with no RP. You work through your group and nobody's ideally going to want to volunteer for that. So then you end up without a lot of role play. I think it's hard for people, particularly when they're shy or they struggle with anxiety, to not let that transfer into their character. And one of the things that I would say that's my advice to role players in general, particularly though there's a lot of us that have anxiety and we role play because life sucks and the world is hard and we hide in a game. So it makes sense that this would be an issue. But what I tell people is this: don't recreate your struggles in life in a game.
Good point.
True story.
If you are an incredibly, terribly shy person, roll a character that isn't. If you are struggling with your sexuality, don't put that on your tune. Be who you want to be.
Yeah, be what you want, not what you are.
Be what you want to be. I mean, one of our very good friends played a werewolf and is well known within EQ2 as the werewolf guy. And he was transgender.
Yeah,
and
emphasis on guy.
Nobody knew.
Guy.
Only a very few of us knew.
I knew.
But he played a guy in game before he ever came out to anyone. And he did that because he was like, I struggle enough with my sexuality in life.
Yeah.
I am not going to put that on my character in game. And I was the same way. I play both boys and girls. And I play straight, queer, gay characters. I do the gambit. But what I don't do is I don't have a character that's agonizing over their sexuality. Because, dude, I do that in real life. I do not need to do that in my character. And I think a lot of people, especially when you're in the middle of something, to try to put that on your character so that you can stand up to the world and show yourself. And all you're doing is really, one,
making yourself
isolating
miserable.
yourself. Two, creating stress for yourself and for those around you. And three, in a way, using your own struggle as a plot device belittles the struggle that you're going through.
Especially if somebody comes in and belittle, if you're doing that struggle and a character comes in that they may not know that that's what's going on in your real life, but so they're going to belittle your struggle as the character, not the player. That's gonna hit home hard.
Yes.
Super
and then
hard.
You get people who are mixing who really didn't mean to mix, but you're attacking them and you're also attacking them. And that's another reason why I tell people, don't roll yourself. Don't make your tune look like you. Don't do that.
True story.
It's a common misconception, particularly among new role players, but some old role players do this as well. Is they roll themselves. Or we have the situation like we did in a certain guild where if you weren't struggling with your sexuality in some fashion, you were uncool and a bad person.
Yep.
And most of them weren't even queer in real life. So they're basically taking what is my struggle in real life and they're turning it into a plot device and belittling it in a very big fashion. And it really angered me to where I couldn't even be in the guild anymore.
Yep.
So when you do that, when you're rolling a character, when you're making a character, don't pick all of your insecurities and your worries and your concerns. You're automatically going to create a character with some aspect of yourself. Yeah. And that's going to help you. I mean, I've dealt with all kinds of issues in my real life through my characters, but they're not me and they don't resemble me in any way. But just by role-playing out certain situations, I've helped myself deal with my own private problems, not because my character was exactly the same, but there was an essence of it in there, and it was dealt with. So don't try to push what you're struggling with into your character, or you won't enjoy roleplay.
Yeah, it'll sour very quickly, and you'll make people around you sour on you.
Yes.
Which is exactly what those people...
She's really a dark elf in Iowa. It's fake news. I know this for a fact. She's the best dark elf that ever was. Thank you very much.
Everybody says so.
Everybody says so. Yes.
Believe me.
No, she's right. Don't play yourself. It's a recipe for disaster. Just saying.
And it's just that if I had any advice for people, that would be it. Stop playing yourself. Stop putting yourself into your characters to such a degree that it's obvious that that's what you're doing. If you're a gay person and you don't like yourself and you want to play a straight person, great. But don't play a gay person who hates themselves, because then you're going to take it personally when someone hates you for being gay. And in the game, particularly most of the games we play, they take place in a time period where there isn't modern stuff.
Yeah, it's the past, yeah.
Yeah, hating gay people was a thing. Hating Black people was a thing. Slavery was a thing. Abuse was a thing. So when we go into these games, we don't have the advances like we do in modern life. And so if you go in there saying, well, in modern life, it's like this, and then you get pissed because somebody treats you the way they would have 500 years ago, then you get really upset and can't play anymore. So
how about you play and have a freaking good time? Because this stuff gets annoying and drives people off the game. And when someone says something, you take it personal, it creates a crap storm. And guess what? People don't want to play with you. Surprise.
Right.
Just saying.
So just roll a character that's going to be fun.
Yeah, there you go.
And then hang out with people that find your character idea fun.
Yep.
But if you are a person who doesn't really believe in lore and doesn't really take character naming seriously and doesn't really find lore all that interesting, and you join a lore-centric guild,
just because
you're not going to have a good time. But like, there's a guild right now that's advertising, we like to follow lore, but hey, if you don't, that's okay. We get along with you. We're fine with that.
Moral relativism at its best. What were you going to say, Sid?
And you know what? If that's what you want to do, then go with those people. And then everybody can be happy because they're spending their money and role-playing in their time, and they're having a good time.
This soapbox moment brought to you by Jazzy B, the future
supposed to
dictator
be
of
on our
RP
soapbox. That's what we're
MMO
doing.
radio.
Be quiet.
No.
Civ. Could you two shut up for a second? She's trying to get a word in.
I was just going to say on the being a wall clinger, being shy to play, coming from somebody who is shy, and don't be scared to send a tell and let people know, hey, this is hard for me. And normally everybody is very understanding. So
especially if I'm new to this, they really, really understand then.
Yeah, they're very.
Story.
The role playing community is very accepting, for the most part.
For the most
and
part,
very understanding. You do run into some that are just.
Yeah, but nobody likes those people anyway.
But yeah, normally you'll once you meet those people, you'll know. But most of the role play community is very understanding, very accepting, very good people. We're usually the first ones to a game. We're usually the last ones to leave it.
We're like the Marines of MMOs.
That's right.
And Hellcat said it's not so much the shyness as it is just have anxiety in social situation. It basically comes down to the same thing, though. Even if it's anxiety, even if you say hey, I'm trying, something like that. Even if just letting people know, especially if you're really wanting to role play with that person, just a quick hey. I'm nervous. And they'll be like, okay. They'll probably just be patient. It's all good. Except for Hellcat. Then they're like, get out of here, scrub. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. I had to be mean. But, no, that's good. Just a simple, just communication, basically. Just simple, honest communication will get you pretty far. As long as you're not a crazy psycho. And kind of lastly, second to last, play what you like. Yes, some of us, even here, might think it's cringe-inducing to play the, vampire werewolf Ixar that shoots out fairy eggs. But if you're having fun and you find people around you that are willing to have that kind of fun, fuck what we think and do what makes it,
Exactly.
It's a pretty broad community. I'm probably not going to have anything to do with it, and that's fine. I'm also not going to be I'm not going to call you out and be like, you're stupid, unless you push the issue and you keep, rubbing my nose in it. Then I'm going to call you stupid. But for the most part, I mean, we've seen every type of person.
This is why Gormo exists, to troll those people in character.
And what it comes down to is it's your money. It's your time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Play it how you want to play.
Yeah, and if you want to break every lore convention there is, you're going to find some guild, some group of people they're perfectly happy to break every lore convention there is, and you're going to be running around in your guild of Doctor Who Time Lords that, are part cyborg, and that's fine. If you find that small little group of people, then go for it. Just remember, if you go outside of that group and people don't go along with it, that's also their choice too. It does happen.
Nobody has to take you at what you want to do because it's fun. There are going to be some people who find it insulting that you can't be bothered to read lore, but there's also going to be just as many people who think lore is stupid and you should just have fun. So hook up with the people that you want to hook up with, but remember that when you cross the streams, it's a problem.
Don't cross the
Jazz,
streams.
you said crossing the streams was bad.
Yeah,
It is bad. That's what I just said.
And also, from Ericus and Strafe, I think this goes towards you. Don't intentionally buff random players.
I want to buff them all, man. I have to now. It's my mission in life.
He's buffing and buffing and buffing. He's super buff. Arnold Schwarzenegger buff. So that's
the muscles.
That's the muscles. And lastly, of course, and I think this is probably, if we've said anything over 100 episodes of this show and in role-playing in MMOs, I think this about sums up the best thing you could do. Don't play halfling. No one likes you or wants to be near you. You're a fucking idiot. Don't play the halfling.
If you've learned nothing else,
you're a
should
bad
Don't play the
person,
halfling.
and you should
Keep your
feel bad.
jum to yourself.
Yeah. Keep
Jum
your
Jum's
cabbage-smelling, sausage-fingered, hairy-toe, fucking curly-headed freakness out of my goddamn game.
That sounds sexy. Say that again.
I don't know if I can even recall what I just said. I just say things, and they just come out. But, yeah. Don't play halflings. The end. So before we wrap up for, at least the final time and the current thing, what are we going to do in the future? So our new show is going to be called Crashed While Loading. Something Jess said once, completely random, because, you want to guess what happened when she logged into ESL? Anybody?
Crashed while loading.
Very good. Figured that out. You're smart. You might have a future in podcasting, kid. Call me. It's going to be gaming. It's going to focus more on video games in general, also movies and TV shows and just real life shit that happens that's funny. Like, I don't know, my mom's dog being here trying to hump everything that moves at our house at the moment. Not all the time, just when we're on the air, apparently. Yeah, still doing that. But just stupid shit like that. I've got all sorts of segments in mind. Things like the dumbest thing I read on the social media this week, down to probably some game reviews, both old and new, of things that maybe you missed or should miss. Just movies, TV shows that we watch and see. Just a kind of a general everything, and also hopefully a brand of humor that is actually funny. Yeah, again, 4 out of 5 is not bad, so we'll do that. It's going to open itself up to a lot more stuff. We're still going to hopefully do it live, and we can have people call in and tell their experiences. It's going to be a lot more broad and not nearly as focused on just MMOs and roleplay. However, we will still focus on MMOs because I like MMOs, and for some reason, I don't know if anyone's noticed out there, in every gaming website ever, outside of, what's that one called? Outside of Massively Overpowered, which is a website dedicated to MMOs, IGN, Kotaku, they basically ignore the fact that MMOs even exist unless there's a major expansion come out, or possibly like some sort of crazy thing happens in EVE Online.
Pretty much.
Don't know why that is. I mean, it's an entire genre, and it's a pretty big one with literally millions upon millions of active subscribers and players, from WoW to all the Korean ones to the Chinese ones to the other ones in here, and ASO and Guild Wars and Black Desert Online. I don't know why they ignore the fact that they exist. So we're going to still focus on those, but we're also going to broaden it to everything else. As for RPMMO Radio, I think Jazz is pretty. She seems pretty firm on taking the reins and adding new episodes after that.
I've been thinking a lot about it. I think I've come up with a thing I want to do. It'll probably not start till the first of the year, maybe a little earlier if I can get everything done. I got to learn some software and all that stuff, but it might be active before Christmas. It just kind of depends. I got to do some work and figure out what I want to do, but yeah, it'll be back. I'm very sure.
She'll be starting out from where we were 3 years ago with that amazing first episode.
Except I have a nicer microphone and a nicer setup.
And now. I will also be here to help you with this because I've learned all that shit and I can easily pass that on to you. Because we learned this amazing thing on Discord where she could I can show her my screen so she can see what I'm doing on my screen and she could just duplicate it on hers and then be like, oh, okay, well, this is where that setting's at. So you'll have a lot easier time. It'll be much better. I have really, really hope. I am curious what you'll do with it, what aspects you'll take along with you, who if you'll bring on. I mean, I know I'll come on when you want, but we'll be doing the other thing too. I know I can't do two at once. I know a lot of us here too are, Sib, me, you, and Faye. We don't barely role play all that much anymore either. So it's kind of, I don't know, disingenuous at times. I guess maybe I don't know. Because we have the experience, but we don't really enjoy it like we used to. I want to.
I think we're getting busy.
Yeah,
I know
there's
I
that
am.
too.
There's that.
So I really look forward to see what Jazz will do with it, and I'll help her every step of the way as much as I can. And as far as I know, you'll still be able to use all of Husky by the Geeks music, which is bueno.
Well, cool.
He gave permission for the show, so I don't know why. As long as you put it at the end, music provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/Husky by the Geek to hear all his great video game rock covers and original music.
But you got to say it just like that.
You have to say it exactly like that, though.
Uh-huh.
Or you can do your own thing.
Good luck.
The only things that will really change is after this episode ends, the Discord server is going to remain RPMMO Radio. So if you're joined on our Discord server, you're good. You're all fine. Everything's fine. We're all good. How are you? Strafay.
We're sending a squad down.
That's right. The Twitch channel will switch.
The Twitch channel is switching with you guys, right?
Yeah, because
I have to get that set up.
Yeah,
separately.
you'll have to get that set up because the Twitch channel is also connected to my Amazon and all my other shit. So I'm not. I can't really give that up.
Yeah, and I have my Twitch hooked up to my Amazon and everything too. Yeah. So I will get it set up.
Once I relinquish RPM Radio, I think you'll be able to just switch it over. It'll be no problem. So I'll start my own Discord server for the Crashed While Loading, and we'll put a link in RPM Radio if you want an invite to that. We'll probably just pin it up and show information or somewhere or something. I don't know. I just haven't done that yet. I'm hoping I can just copy everything that we have here and switch it over there, and that way all the settings come with me because that was a nightmare to set up.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But at least you've got it going, so... But so that's pretty much it. If you want to join the new Discord server for the other one, just keep an eye out on RPM Radio's Discord. If you want to join the new Twitch account when Jazz makes it up, that will also be on the RPM Radio Discord server. And that'll be pretty much it. And it'll be, it should be a pretty smooth transition. I really don't know exactly when either show, like she said. I don't know when Crash While Loading will kick in because I have a lot of sound stuff and bumpers and things like today, the dumbest social media tweet of the week kind of stuff with sound effects and just different shit like that. And we've got a lot of ideas and plenty of time to do it. So that'll be that. Anybody have any final words? Like truly, possibly final words for quite some time?
It's been a fun run, y'all.
Yeah.
Love it.
It has been.
Be good to each other.
I think you were close. You should have said be excellent to each other.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. I remember when Geordie LaForge said that. That's a good line.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it was Geordie.
I'm fairly certain. If it wasn't, it was 7 of 9.
Do you remember it differently? I gotta ask.
Yeah, I really remember it differently myself as well.
That is so weird. Yeah, well, I've watched more Star Trek than you, so I clearly know what I'm talking about better. Also,
I'm not sure you do, but we'll let you go with that. Yeah. And that means what exactly?
Nothing. I was just pointing out a fact.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening to our madness. We've
Yes.
enjoyed it as much as you did, I hope.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Listeners and cast. You guys are great.
I'm really not going to miss any of you guys.
That's because you're a pet.
Plus, you're not going to miss anything because we're all going to be back again.
And I'm still talking to you. I'm still friends with you. I literally won't miss any of you guys. I live with one of you.
Yeah, that's true.
Much to her unfortunate timing.
Her chagrin?
Yeah, thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
There you go.
Her chagrin. She-grin. So, all right. Well, for the final time, at least in this iteration, this is RP MMA Radio.
Night,
our
folks.
100th episode.
Later.
And as
Later.
always, wouldn't be the right episode if I didn't put the music on properly because I'm a moron. But not as big of a
Night,
moron
everybody.
as 100 episodes ago, so hey, got that. So with that, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, actually I can't give out the information because none of it's going to matter here soon. So with that, I want to thank everybody for both tuning in and listening for all these years, all these episodes. You are the heart and soul of this entire show. But so is my crew, Jazz, Sib, Strafe, Yudfe, Kishmis, also in the past, Rahanar as well, our call screener, who is great. And every one of you that has called in, we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening. And we hope to see you in the future in both the future endeavors of RPMMO Radio and Crashed While Loading. With that, I am Ashen Phoenix, and don't tune in next time when we'll go over why halflings are terrible at ending podcasts. Good night, everybody. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his great video game rock covers and original music.